Mm. Oh, what's going on there, Craig Rat? How the hell we doing this morning, brother? I'll turn the camera on in just a minute. I'm just getting a couple things taken care of here. A dumb liberal makes a good debate. Well, not really. Not really. Flatbed, good to see you, man. How the hell are you? It's just a title. It's just a question. What makes a good debate? You're waiting to get a load or waiting to get loaded? Tyke, good to see you, brother. Spaced out on your bed. I've been in the hospital today. Sorry to hear that, man. Waiting to be loaded. Okay. Well, at least you've got a load. Mm. Good morning, one and all. How the hell are you doing? All 11 of you. Tyrannus, good to see you, brother. Damn good to see you, son. Obviously, I am not at home. I'm down at my brother's place in Calgary. Um, I'm doing a little house sitting, watching. I got my dog and his dog and whatever. Just doing a little house sitting, and so I'm doing a live from his place today, out in Calgary. Had my fifth MRI today. Man, I think after the second or third one, just stop counting there, Crag Rat. I miss smoking cigars. Yeah, I do too. Extended home time. Good on you, man. It's about goddamn time. About goddamn time. You've been out for umpteen thousand months. Hope you're enjoying. I hope you're at least doing something and enjoying yourself. You're not just sitting around looking at your phone watching me, for Christ's sake. Christy, good to see you. Yeah, I'm in my brother's garage. You can't smoke in his house, obviously, right? So I'll sit out in his garage. It's a little bit windy, and it's only 9:15 here, so it's a little bit windy and it's a little bit cool. So I'm going to give it about an hour, let it warm up, then I'll throw the garage door open. It's a beautiful day, though. Danik, you look cool. Well, so do you, man. Andy, good to see you, man. I should be home Thursday. Nice, nice. Are you going to take the whole weekend, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Go back out Sunday night. Hopefully that's the case. Take the time off. Flatbed, you've earned it. Mm. Hey, Grandpa, how's it going? Well, gaming, you're right. I am a grandfather. I've got one little granddaughter. She's 3. Uh, he's still a lad. Well, Em, I like your enthusiasm. Thank you very much. Please, no God. No, we're not talking God today. Leaving on Monday. There you go. So you got yourself a good couple of days. Sit back, kick it back, have a few drinks, light one up, get it going. Mm. Pete, good to see you. I don't know names. Sorry, my name or your name? I hope you know your own fucking name. My name's Brian. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Ever seen one of those MRI machines operating without their cover on it? Tara, you know what? No, I haven't. In my entire life, I've only had one MRI, and it was years and years and years ago. So, no, I haven't seen terrifying. I think when I was getting the MRI, I don't think mentally I was in any shape to be fucking giving a damn what they were doing. Drop down and give me 10, Junior. 10 what? My mama. Wow, that's a mouthful. My mama said that. Hell of a handle on you there. Good one. Your cigarette is badly small. I got a badly small cigarette. No, it's just a nice little cigar. I got a coffee and a roll up. Best I can do. Pete, knock yourself out. That's the best you can do. Get done. I've got a coffee and mine's pre-rolled. So, can you flip a brick on a stream? Can I flip a brick on a stream? No, not likely. Hi, good to see you. Brian, do you like Teslas? No, I have absolutely no use whatsoever for electric cars or electric trucks. Zero. If you handed me the keys to a brand new Tesla, I wouldn't even drive it. It would park in my driveway with a for sale sign on it, and it would be gone. I wouldn't even fuck around with it. My country love Israel from Japan. There you go. You look like a retired villain. A retired villain. That's pretty good. That's not bad, man. Retired villain. I've been called a lot of shit, but never a retired villain. But you got the retired part right. Oh, you're also got a small cup. Well, it's the biggest one that my brother's got in the house here. Uh, After being in an MRI machine today, I feel like an oven ready chicken. Well, I've never heard it quite described like that, but sorry you're going through that, man. That sucks. Watch Two Girls, One Cup. Oh, come on, man. That's like fucking what, 20 years old? That's 20 years old. That's I'm glad I hate Elon. Well, I don't whether you hate him or not. We're talking about his fucking cars. Yeah, people won't drive his cars because they don't like him. Well, that sucks for him, right? The only thing electric I have is my RC car. Well, there you go. And even with an RC car, dude, you can get those in little small gas piston engines and those things. Liam Neeson, long shot, brother. Well, not quite. I'll take his paycheck though. I'm British, but Starmer recognizing Palestine state is as well, whatever. We're not doing politics. We're going to take it easy on the politics today. Hmm. Melted my each on 100-mile-an-hour car. Melted your what? Don't know what you're talking about. Elon is the goat. He says going to take all of us to visit Mars. Well, you know what? If you want to be the first one on board to go do that, you knock yourself out and you go get that done. I ain't going to Mars. By the time they're ready to go to Mars, I'll probably be long dead anyway. Autocorrect, damn autocorrect, electronic speed control. I don't like the batteries either. No, I don't like the electric cars because I don't like what they stand. First of all, I don't like what they stand for, and the false sense of what they're supposed to represent. Right, the electric cars and the electric trucks are they're labeled as they're supposed to represent that they are safe for the environment, they are good for the environment, they are a green car, they're a vehicle, they are an emissions free vehicle, and I don't believe any of that. I really don't. Yeah, well, you will, you're old. Nah, you know what, um that's coming from a guy named Schwungo, who's sitting around in his basement in his Spider-Man underoos talking on his fucking iPod. So How old are you, man? I'm 55. Cybertrucks are hella cool, but Tesla have a lot of issues. Mr. Big Pop, it's not just the issues that I have with the electric vehicles. Good to see you, Nikki. How are you this morning, sweetheart? Again, babe, you went live and you were way too late. I had to watch part of the replay. But my problem with the electric cars is, first of all, I just don't like it. I prefer a combustion engine. Second of all, I don't, like I said, the false sense of what they're selling you. This is green. This is a green vehicle. It's emissions free. It's good for the environment. Well, I've never seen a Tesla car last more than 5 years, right? After 5 years, the thing's a boat anchor. The batteries are garbage. They're gone. They're dead. And it costs more to replace the battery than it does to fucking to buy and pretty much buy a new car, right? But what is that? What is it? What is the carbon footprint that's been made to make that car? Everybody just sees the end product. They see, oh, it's a Tesla or it's an electric car and it's green. And while it's out on the road doing what it's doing, yeah, it's not putting out any emissions, and yeah, it's still a little better. It's still green. Electric is still better than petrol. P, okay, I got you for the moment of what you've got. But Pete, if you take that electric vehicle, right, that electric car, that electric truck, or whatever it is, and you take that and you go all the way back to the beginning of making it, okay, the carbon footprint left on the environment just to make that car would have to drive be operable for over 20 years to make up the footprint it took to make the car. So is it any better? Absolutely not. It's actually worse. You think about that. What are these batteries made of? Like, you've got these car batteries, right? And the truck batteries, especially the big truck batteries. What are they made of? They're made of lithium. And where do they get the lithium from? Where do they get a lithium from? They dig it out of the ground. So they're mining it. So now they're over wherever they're getting the lithium from, and a lot of it's coming from overseas. Some of it's done here, but most of it's overseas. Where do they get the lithium from? They dig it out of a mine. So they're mining it. So now they've got all these excavators, diggers, all that shit, all running on combustion engines, burning diesel, right? To pull it out of the mine. And then once it gets pulled out of a mine, where does it go? It goes on a truck or a train, depending on the mine. But chances are it goes on a truck. And then it gets trucked with a diesel engine, a combustion engine. It gets trucked to a facility. Okay. From there, it goes and does some processing or whatever. And then from there goes on to another truck or goes onto a train and then goes onto a boat. So you're catching the carbon here, right? There's all the excavators, the diggers, the first truck that has to go on, then the refinery, then you get the second truck or maybe a train, and then it goes on a boat, like a great big cargo boat. That boat there, do you know how much fucking diesel those clunker boats put out per hour? How much they burn? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So then now it has to cross the ocean and comes over to fucking United States. And what happens? It comes off the boat, and what do? They put it on another fucking truck. So now if you do this whole thing, okay, and you go from the beginning to the end product of building that car, the carbon footprint that's been left from the beginning stages up until they put that car on the road, the carbon footprint is too big. That electric car will not be on the road for the 20 years that's going to be required for it to run to make up the carbon footprint that it left to make it. That's the long version of why I don't like electric vehicles, because it's a false sale they're selling you, folks. I drive a Honda 2002 with extra smoke. Curry boy, I love it. I love it. That's the neat part. They don't scream. Sir, what's the best way? Thanks. I don't know, man. I've just missed a bunch of comments. You guys are chatting away at 200,000 miles an hour here. There's 62 of yous in here. Fossil fuels are burnt to make electric. Yeah, you need to burn fossil fuels to make an electric vehicle, whether it be a truck, a car, a bike, anything with a fucking lithium battery in it. And then what are you going to say? Oh, well, We can use solar, or we can use wind power, or we can I don't buy any of that bullshit. I really don't. I don't. They lie to us about everything except space. They definitely telling the truth about space. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Here, you know what, Tyrannus? What I'm going to come down to your place and we'll book a couple tickets on Elon's shuttle and we'll go fucking hang out in space. It's like saying Diet Coke is better than water. It's exactly. It's a false fucking sense. It really is. But people don't think about it that way. They really don't. They look at one of these Teslas or these electric trucks or one of these electric cars and they go, "Hey, that's awesome." And you know what? In a sense, it is. It's great while that car is running. It's not putting out any emissions. And yeah, you gotta charge it, so it's drawing electricity from a grid. Hopefully, that electricity is coming from a nuclear power plant, not a coal burning one, because there's fossil fuels now charging your car, right? You got a coal burning plant putting out electricity. So unless it's a hydroelectric plant or a nuclear plant, you're using fossil fuels to charge your green emission car. The plants need more CO2. Everyone drive diesel trucks with no death. Agreed, Skippy. Well said. Get it done. Love from India, streamer guy. Good to see you. Have you seen the videos of the poisoned water Diet Coke might be? I have not seen those videos about the Diet Coke. No. How long have you been smoking that cigar? This one here, I started last night. I was just gently fucking just smoking it last night, and then I didn't want to finish it before I went to bed last night, so I just kind of tapped it out. And I've got this one here, so I'll finish this one off here, and I got another one over there. We'll light that one up a little later. Howdy from North Crackalacky, Mr. Pease. Damn good to see you. How about poison water? Um, Jesus Christ, man. Inner Wanderer, you can get poison water anywhere. It doesn't matter whether you're in Canada, US. Somewhere, sometime, at some point in time, somebody's dumping something in the water. There's always something in the water. And if it's not some industry or some big fucking corporation or some there's who knows what the fucking government's putting in the water. Now I'm not gonna go down that path and go, oh, our government's poisoning us. They might be, they might not be. I don't have any proof of it, so I'm not gonna say anything. I've never been able to get at cigars. I mean, I've tried like an Arturo 858. You know what? It's an acquired taste, Michael. It is. I've been smoking cigars since my 20s, my early 20s, and it's always been a staple. I've always smoked. I've been doing YouTube for years, and I've always smoked cigars. And I smoke cigars, and then I'll smoke cigarettes for 2 3 years, and I'll quit for 4 5 6 7 years, and pick up cigarettes again for a year, maybe a couple of years. And I've gone extended periods without cigarettes, but the cigars I've always smoked cigars. Like your maple leaf too. You like that? Good old Canadian boy here. That's all I am. Hello from New Zealand. Good to see you, man. I'm moving to Turkey with Tolga, and we're going to reestablish the Silk Road. Are you? Well, I think Tolga's got other fucking plans. He plans to take over. I don't think you realize this, Tyrannus, but Tolga plans to be the next world leader dictator. He's going to be a dictator, and I'm right there with him. If he gets in, I'm going to be right beside him. No fear of alteration. Hmm. I don't know where you are, inner wanderer. I don't know where you are. I can't hang today, bro. I'm watching the UN meeting. Wow, the UN meeting is more important than me? Ah, Unk, do that thing, grip. You retired, Santa stranger? Yeah, I am. Dodge Challenger or Mustang? Um, I'll take the Challenger Hellcat Red Eye. Um, but you put that up against the 350 GT, the Mustang. They're both fucking nice cars. Myself personally, I'm a Mopar guy, so I'm a Dodge guy, right? I like the Fords, same with Chevs, but well, yeah, it comes right down to it, man. I'm a Dodge guy, so yeah, I'm gonna take the Challenger. Daniel saying, "Who am I?" I'm really, man. I'm just nobody. You know what? I'm some guy that just sits around my home, I do. I used to do content on YouTube. I don't do a lot of content anymore because my channel kind of changed and it's not what it used to be. So we don't go that route with the content. But nowadays, I just do lives. I go live usually every morning for 3 4 hours, and we just sit around and Daniel will talk about anything, world fucking things, whatever you want, Daniel. You want to talk about women you've never had, you're going to brag you've had that you've never had. You want to talk about places you've been that you've never been. You want to, hookers, cocaine, motorcycles, cars, trucks, your family, life, kids, whatever you want to talk about, man. Whatever you want to talk about. Direct, indirect, poisoning, food chain, we're sick. Um, Direct, indirect. Okay. I smoked for years and years and was finally able to quit. And then I went to a fucking rehab and got stuck on damn ZYNS off the heroin. Though, so do you know where you're? So hey, we're doing good. Well, Michael, listen, I'm a recovered drug addict, right? I'm a recovered drug addict and alcoholic, so I don't do drugs or any type of drug or any kind of alcohol. I guess you can consider nicotine a drug if you want to, but like I said, a recovered coke and crack addict, and it's been a few years now for me, and obviously I'm reaping the benefits of my life today because I'm not living the life I was before. Dodge Chow, you already asked that. Any remedies for sore throat? Don't swallow. A cup of tea with honey in it usually works for me. I'm not a big tea drinker, but you know what? What the fuck? Every once in a while, a cup of tea with a little bit of honey in it straightens you out. Maybe you should change professions to help the earth, not hurt it. Eh. Moderator, ban this spamming guy. I think Craig Rat took care of that for us. That goddamn bacon. What's this about dictators? Sounds like a Spud thing to say. Well, the goddamn bacon. Dude, I've seen you before. I used to follow you a few years ago. And I don't know what happened. I stopped. I don't know if I stopped getting your notifications or whatever. It's one of those things that when you follow so many people, people get lost in the mix. But it's good to see you. Hopefully, you're doing all right, man. Hopefully, you're doing all right. I used to follow you quite a bit. Uh, what did you do as a profession? Inner wanderer. I was a truck driver. I was a long haul truck driver. Um, uh, 30. I was trucked for 35 and a half years, and for 25 of those, I was an owner operator. Dodge guy here too. Cheese gaming. Cheers. Talk about Canada being majority brown. Vlad, you're wrong. You're wrong. You, the coach of Washington Commanders? No. Can you name one fast food franchise starting with the letter W? Wendy's. Let's talk about hairless cats. Colleen, you want to talk about hairless cats? I've got three Devon Rex. They're not hairless, but they're about as close to fucking hairless as you can get. And actually, I don't even have them. The ex-wife has them. So yeah, Devon Rex, smart, cool cats, very cool, very smart, hypoallergenic, and they don't shed. And the hair on them is like you might as well say they're fucking hairless. Just worked a 20-hour shift. Yeah, well, you said something about that the other day. You're a fucking retard, Ryan. Like I know you're self-employed and you got to do it and you own the car washes and all that kind of shit, but Jesus Christ, I hope it's going to pay off for you. I really do. Benjamin, I'm 55. 55 years old. Superman or Batman? Superman. Batman's a fraud. Are you one of the snow Mexicans? Yes, BK, I am one of them snow Mexicans. Proudly. See the maple leaf? Proudly. Back in a bit, Brian. Doctors pop around to check me over. Yeah, just bend over and cough. Bend over and cough. Yeah, food chain. That's a good idea. Obviously, you broke your fucking brain, dude. My brain was broken many, 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 many years ago. Mind you, It's had some healing to do, but you never get right in the head after some of the things that I've done in my life. Let me tell you. She's gaming. I smoke weed. Right on. I don't, but I don't condemn anybody that does it. If you smoke pot in my just because I don't, I'm a recovered drug addict. If you smoke pot in my eyes, it's the same as having a beer. If you can legally sit there and drink a beer or have a couple shots of tequila or whatever that is, it's the same as smoking a joint. They're on par. You haven't uploaded in a year, planning on doing some anytime soon. Well, Dashy, we are. I say we, like I have a whole staff here, and oh yeah, we've got the whole production crew here. I am adjusting the channel slowly. There's some things that are being done, but it takes time, and sometimes it takes a little bit of money. So there's some things that I'm doing, and yes, there is going to be content again, and the channel is going to be changed. The name is not going to change. It might get altered a little bit, but it's going to go from this channel was started in 2021, and it was primarily a trucking channel, but the trucking market is absolutely saturated on YouTube. So, I've kind of took it off the trucking genre, like when you go into the list of things where you can have your channel posted where you think it'll get the most views. I took it out of the trucking genre and I put it under entertainment. So you haven't uploaded, yeah? We're going to. I'm reaping the benefits of today because I'm not living the life I was. Words to live by. Absolutely. Georgie, I stopped eating bacon. I will never stop eating bacon. Bacon is one of the fucking few things in life that actually gives me an orgasm, and I don't even have to touch myself. So nice looking stogie. Yeah, if I ever get the goddamn thing lit again, you guys won't shut up long enough for me to light my fucking cigar. But that doesn't mean its majority is brown. That's over assumption. You know what? It's no Mexican man. I haven't heard that in a term in a minute. Yeah. Um, Canada is not primarily brown. It's not primarily white. You got to remember, Canada is a mixing bowl of just about every ethnic community in the world right now. Everything, and it's not being separated. I don't know if you guys have seen or any how old any of you guys are, but in my time, I've watched as it's happening through Canada that, you know, immigration's coming in, the different colors, the different religions, the different creeds, the different all of that are coming in. And now they don't stick to themselves. So now you've got, you know, white and black and Indian and they're all starting to intermingle. So now, what is your population? Is it primarily white? Well, no, it can't be primarily white. If you've got Indians hooking up with whites and whites hooking up with blacks and all of that's good. I got no problem with that. I'm just saying that you can't have a primary white population or a black population when the whole population is starting to interbreed and they just go about their lives. So that's not a problem for me. I got no issue with that. Gremlins, normal white guy talking about that, eh? Hello, Grandpa. What are we talking about? Jenna, throw it up there. Whatever you want to talk about. Benjamin, the local fried chicken joint asked me how I know XD. Hey, did it just get dark in here? Jamie, good to see you. Damn good to see you. I'm from San Jose, California, man. Welcome in from California. That is one fucked up state. I don't go to California very often, and anytime I ever did go to California, it was for business, right? I'd go in because I was trucking in, but I've never been there for personal. But Jesus Christ, what a mess that state is. Why is it that a primarily Democratic state and the population of California is bailing out at over a 100,000 people every 4 months, like every third, every quarter, not quarter, every third of a year. 100,000 people are leaving California, and of all places, they're going to the reddest fucking state in the union. They're going to Texas, for Christ's sake. Pink certs I'm smoking on. There you go. This is a Rocky Patel, or what's left of it. I'm gonna smoke this bitch right down to the nub. I'm gonna burn my fingers off because I love these things. Hey, I'm a Canadian truck driver, 25 years old. Jack LaSalle, good for you, brother. I'm a Canadian retired truck driver, and I'm 55 years old. All I'm gonna say to you, man, is you better love what you do, and that'll make you be able to do what you love. Because trucking is not a job anymore. It's not a career anymore. It's not a career. You don't have a, if you go for 20 years, you haven't had a trucking career and you didn't have a job. Unfortunately, trucking this day and age is now a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, and there are some very severe penalties and prices you're going to pay to be a truck driver. And when I say that, I don't mean money. I mean you're going to miss birthdays. You're going to miss your children. You're going to miss their birthdays. You're going to miss fucking holidays. You're going to miss this, that. You're going to miss more shit than you're ever going to go to. Right? When you at the end of your trucking career, you're going to look back and go, I missed more birthdays and holidays, funerals, births. I missed more shit than I was ever at. You have to be willing to pay that price. You absolutely have to be willing to pay that price. I'm smoking weed. Well, Jenna, spark it up, fire it up, blaze it up, get it into you, girl. Honestly, it's primarily Indian drivers here. I don't know. Depends on where you live, Jack, right? Like I live in Alberta, but I'm from Ontario, right? Most of my trucking career was done out of the GTA, right? So I kind of have an idea of what you're talking about. But in the whole industry as whole, um, is it primarily Indian? I don't think it is yet. It's heavily it's heavily influenced by Indians, but now I'm seeing things going on in the U.S. and this is something I actually agree with is that they're putting all these Indian drivers, and not just Indian. Okay, it can be any immigrant that's driving a truck. They're putting them out of service because they can't read or write English, and they can't communicate effectively with the DOT or the MTO officers. And the U.S. is as it's always been a law, but they've never enforced it. Now they're enforcing it, and I think I saw something. There was 173,000 trucks put out of service because the truck drivers couldn't speak English. I think that's a great idea. And anybody that can go, well, that's not really fair, and that's kind you're being prejudicial, Bry. It's like, well, no, I don't think I am, because if you think about it in this way, if I went to say India or Pakistan or Afghanistan, or if I went to one of those countries over there and I couldn't speak Pakistani or Afghani or Indian, I couldn't speak any of those languages or read or write the language, how would I be expected to operate a motor vehicle, you know, properly and safely? I couldn't be. I couldn't be. If I can't read signs and I can't, pass their test, they're written. The problem is in Canada, the government has just made it so goddamn easy for them that, like, for example, the last time, this was 2 years ago, I had to go and rewrite my test for my truck license. We have to do it every so many I think every 3 years. So I'm in there and it's all done on computer. So I did my test and everything like that on the computer. I finished it. Oh, you hit enter, da da da. You take a number, you wait. While I'm waiting, I'm walking along the back, and there's the guy next to me, and it's an Indian guy or a Pakistani guy. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's an Asian guy, and they're all sitting there. And I'm looking at the guy's screen, and he's taking the test in his own language. It's not even in English or French, right? And I'm like, how the fuck does that work? If he can't read English or write English and he can't speak English, how are we giving him a fucking truck license for the province of Ontario? And that baffled me. And when I asked the girl at the counter, when I went up and she gave me my test and said, okay, you passed, your license is renewed, blah, 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 blah. And I said that to her, and all she did is roll her eyes. They have no say in it, right? And that's government right there. Sorry, I'm behind. California, hope you aren't a liberal. Well, if you go to California, you can stand on the roof of your house and throw a rock, close your eyes and throw a rock in any direction. You're going to hit a liberal. What's your opinion on Charlie Kirk? I don't give my opinion on Charlie Kirk. I've been asked this lots of times over the last week, doing my lives. I don't give my opinion on Charlie Kirk, but this is what I will tell you, and this is what I say, and this is how I work, or how I think, and how I feel about everybody in life. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's Charlie Kirk or Trumpy Trump or Carney and I apply the same thing to religion and whatever. This is what I'll say about Charlie Kirk. Whether you loved Charlie Kirk and followed him as the word of God, or if you hated the man's guts, couldn't stand him, thought he was the dirtiest, fucking nastiest rat in the world, whichever way you went, The man did not deserve to die. And that's how we need to look at that. Stop looking at it. Well, he was this, he was great, he was this. The man was protected, just like me, just like you, just like any of us, by an amendment that says he has the right to free speech. It doesn't, the amendment doesn't say it's a free speech as long as you agree, everybody, this people here agree with it. It is the right to free speech. He has the right to say whatever he wants, and it doesn't matter who it offends or how it offends you. The man was killed for it, his free speech. Like I said, regardless whether you agree with him and love him or you don't agree with him and you hate him, the man did not deserve to die, no more than I do or you do or anybody else does because of something we say, right? Because of something we say. And that's just how I feel about that. So like I don't give a lot of Charlie Kirk. I don't, whether I was a Charlie Kirk pro or against or whatever like that. I that's my personal. I don't share that. I will give you my opinion on the situation, and that's the situation. Good morning, Quinn. Good to see you, man. Sorry, I'm a little behind in the chat here. There's a lot of roundabouts in. Is there a lot of roundabouts in Alberta? Yeah, and I really fucking wish they'd know how to use them properly. Holy fuck! All right, the question we really need to ask is: pineapple on your entree of choice or not? Random example pizza. Yes, I do pineapple on pizza. Bacon, I absolutely do pineapple on pizza, and I enjoy eating pineapple like raw, like you chop up a pineapple and you eat it. I've had it in what have I had? I've had fondue where you got pineapple, you dip it in the chocolate or whatever, and you do that and that kind of shit. Yeah, but do I eat pineapple on a regular basis? No, I do like it though. What's going on there, Patty? There's our boy from Germany over there. What's going on, Wheel Burner? Good to see you, Pat. How the hell you doing, man? Have I ever been to Texas? Tyler, yes, I've been to Texas a lot. I've been to Texas a lot. We used to do almost dedicated runs out of uh, out of Ontario, Canada, down to Texas, and we usually had 3 to 4 drops. So we'd usually go Dallas, Austin, um, San Antonio, and Laredo, right? And then we'd race across the I-10 and get over into Houston, pick up in Houston at the port, go into the port in Houston, pick up and run all the way back up to Ontario. Have you ever? Yeah. Which is why we are moving to Canada. Well, Mr. Boston, if you feel the need, you want to move to Canada because it's a great place, then obviously there's something here for you. Um, it's not for everybody. But what I don't laugh about this, but what I think about sometimes is like you've got people coming from all over the world and they're fighting like hell to get into Canada. They're giving up their life in whatever country they're coming from, and they're coming here, and then they come here and they don't perform. They don't behave. They get out of line. They break the laws. They behave as if they're in their own country and the laws here don't apply because they think they're in their own country. And that's not right. Right. If you're going to come to a country, for example, if I was going to move to another country, I would fully be expected to know something about the country, um, be willing to try to be able to communicate the best I could, speak the language or write the language best if I could, and then I'd be expected to fucking probably contribute, right? I'm not gonna go move to a new country and just soak it all up and not contribute anything to that country. That's where I'm gonna be living. So we have a lot of that in Canada. Canadians are the best hockey players. Cheese gaming, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You look at just about every fucking NHL team in the world. Most of the best hockey players on those teams are either Canadian or European. Overtime trucking, good to see you. What's going on? Imagine going to Mexico to drive a truck without knowing Spanish. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Right. So that's why I do wholeheartedly agree with and I endorse it and I would back it up. It's not like I said, it's not a new law. Those laws have always been on the books. They've just never been enforced. But now they're enforcing them. And I agree with it. And that doesn't mean that I'm being prejudiced against anybody like all those truck drivers that can't read or write or speak English. It's just a fact. It's a matter of safety for your, first of all, the truck driver himself. It's his own safety. It's the community safety. And if you have a problem with the way I'm thinking, I want you to think about this. Okay, there's a truck going down the fucking highway right now. He's moving at a speed of say 70 miles an hour. He's fully loaded, so he's maxed out at 80,000 pounds. He doesn't read, write, speak English, and he's coming into a construction zone. And your wife and daughter are in the car beside him. Do you want that guy in that fucking truck? Do you want that guy in that truck? I don't. I don't care if it's an Indian guy in the truck or a Pakistani or anything. I don't care who's in the truck. If they can read English, speak English, and they are fully capable of operating that vehicle and understanding and conceptualizing everything that's around them, I have no problem with that whatsoever. But that's not always the case. For example, like I said, I saw something, it was 173,000 trucks that have been put out of service because of this. That's not a small number, people. 173,000 fucking trucks. That's a lot. If you can't read English, how do you expect to know if your permits and IFTA are exactly? It goes, over time. It runs all. There's so many things, right? How are you doing your logbook, right? How are you doing your e-log? How are you reading? When there's detours. Fuck, I don't know how many times in a week. We're depending on where I was in the country, what part of the U.S. or Canada, you're getting detoured. How do you can't rely on GPSs. You can't rely on your fucking Google. You got to be able to read this, read that. And if you can't, how do you do it? I've delivered an active, albeit not on the clock, truckers to the last year or so, way more than I've been in fairness. Only one was not a dot Indian. Yeah, dot Indian. Just call them Indians, man. Stop with the Charlie mindset. Well, it's. I think the population is too concerned about. Oh, they killed his message. Oh, the fuck his message. And I don't say that lightly. And I'm not being like whether you liked his message or you didn't like his message. So fuck his message whether you liked it, or fuck his message whether you hated it. They fucking killed the man for it, regardless of the message, whether they hated the message or loved the message. They killed the man for it, and all he was doing was speaking words and debating and challenging people to think, whether you agreed with the road he was going down to make them what he was making them think about, or whether you don't. That's different. They killed a man because of his fucking what he was saying. You got a booger? No, I don't. He needs to study extra hard, is all. Whatever. Both parties are wrong and both parties are right. I'm a satanic mechanic. There you go. I could have used you a few years ago. Also, on that note, that's gutted my industry reputation. A lot of folks who work where I do now don't even speak the local language, let alone the local norms. Dude, Bacon, I can go anywhere. Like I said, I'm in Calgary. And right now, I'm in Calgary. I'm at my brother's place, but I live in Strathmore, just 45 miles east of here. And I can tell you right now, I can go outside here right now and walk my dog up to the end of the street there, and I'm probably going to hear about four or five different languages spoken, and none of them speak English. How are you managing to get through life on a daily basis if you can't at least speak or read or write or speak English? I can even get by with I can let it go a little bit with the comprehension part, the reading and the writing. But if you can't speak and communicate back and forth, um, English, and I don't mean perfect English. I got no problem if you're an immigrant or anything like that, and your English is broken. Hey, man, I can figure out what you're trying to fucking say to me. That I'm good with. But if you can't speak a lick of fucking English, how are you functioning? So you are upset with the administration and what they're doing with the First Amendment. B-Rod, I'm not upset with anything. What I'm upset with, actually, I'm not even upset. I'm just making a point. When somebody asks me, how do I feel about Charlie Kirk? That's just what I say to you. Okay, that they killed a man because of fucking his speech. Simple as that. It's not that they killed a great man and had a great following. Or it's not that they killed an asshole and a satanic man. They killed a man over his speech, over what he was talking about, over free speech. And we can't have that. That would be like B Rod saying to you, saying to us, everybody in this chat right now, Wheel Burner's full of shit. I don't agree with a thing he says, and you trying to fucking blow my head off for it. Would I deserve to die for that? I wouldn't deserve to die for it, no more than Charlie Kirk deserved to die for what he was saying. Again, the First Amendment allows you the free speech to say what you're saying. It doesn't say to you, you can have free speech as long as we agree with you. That's what the government would love to change it to, and certain people would love to change it to, but that's not the way it's laid out. Okay. I think there's something in the Bible about martyrs having a special place in heaven. Well, there may well be. I'm in San Jose. No one here is focused on Charlie or political views. Over here is guaranteed all those kind of people get beat up. Well, it doesn't happen here. We don't do a lot of beating up around here, but B Rod sounds like you're just missing the point, and please avoid the news media. Laura, I don't know. B Rod's been in here before. I've never had a problem with him. At least he always gives me something to think about. He's not being insulting. He's not being ignorant. He's not being rude. He's just phrasing things in a way, and it makes me at least think about what he's trying to say. And you know what? That's a really good way to have a debate. You could have two people that you don't agree with each other, but at least I'm going to sit there and be respectful of you. And even though I don't agree with you, I'm not going to cram my way down your throat as my way is the way it is, and that's the right way. And you're not going to do it to me. But we can debate and talk about it. And you know what? Hey, I might learn something new. I got no problem with that. Maybe B Rod would learn something new. There's nothing wrong with that. I openly invite anybody that wants to debate, but it's got to be done respectfully. First of all, and you better be able to back up what you're saying, right? Don't just come in here waving a bunch of bullshit around. People get offended too easily these days. Well, Stephanie, you're absolutely right. We are in a crybaby state. Okay. The next generation, or the younger generation, are too busy being all up in their feelings. Where they get their feelings hurt, they run home, or they'll run to the teacher, they'll run to the fucking parents, they'll run to this, and next thing you know, there's a five-alarm fucking blaze because Billy got his fucking feelings hurt. Get over it. Fucking get over it. Sticks and stones, man. Right? Sticks and stones. Get over it. Somebody called you a name, or somebody said something you don't like, or somebody insulted you. Do you know how many fucking times a day, when I'd be at work, somebody would insult me or fucking whatever? It's not going to affect my life. I don't lose a minute of fucking sleep over it. I'm definitely not going to be affected and drag it through my day and let it affect other people. You are awesome for being honest. No, everybody else runs from me like the plague. You know what? Like I said, Michael, I'll talk to anybody about anything, even if it's a subject that I know nothing about. I'll at least come forward and say, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. Like I'm ignorant in that situation. I don't know. If I don't know the answer, or if I don't know the topic, but at least I'll admit to you I don't know. And if I do know something about it, then yeah, well, let's talk about it. We'll talk about it." I cannot tolerate somebody that will absolutely invite you to a debate, but you know that there is no way that person's mind is closed, and there is no way that there is anything that you are going to say that is going to either affect him or educate him or sway him. And again, debates are not there necessarily to convince another party that they're wrong and you're right. A debate is there so that little bits and pieces of both sides fly back and forth, and maybe at some point or another it'll bring the people closer because they may find something in common to recognize in common, and that's what makes a really good debate. It's not at the end of the debate where you go, "All right, asshole, see you later. You fuck you. Yeah, talk to you later. Fuck off." That's not a good debate. A good debate would be two people at the end going, "You know what? I never thought of it that way. I can't say that I necessarily 100% agree, but I can look at it a little differently now and shake hands and walk away." That's a good debate. Laura, do I miss driving a truck? Oh, badly, terribly. Have you taken your Tylenol today? No. No, I don't take Tylenol unless I'm in pain for something, and you guys are definitely no pain. Yeah, do I miss driving a truck? Absolutely. Absolutely, I miss it a lot. And now that it's been 5 months or 6 months now, and I'm still at the stage where when Victoria and I are in the car and a truck's going, not a real nice truck's rolling the other way, and maybe it's rolling coal or it throws the jakes. I still have to look. I can't help it. It's just like, oh my God, that's beautiful. And even Victoria looks at me like, and she's like, "You missed that." And of course, I miss it. I lived in a truck for fucking most of my life. I was in a truck and on the road more than I've ever been at home. I've owned different homes with my ex-wife and everything, and we raised our kids. And I've always owned a home, but I've lived more in a truck on the road than I ever lived in the house. Do you hang a pineapple upside down? I don't know. No, I don't know. Craig, saying hi to Steph. Good to see you. Boring girl, my age. I'm 55. Hey, it's your pizza to top. Don't listen to anyone. Don't listen to anyone. Can't even top their own. Well, exactly. But you know what? The goddamn bacon. Your next live. That's your next live right there. That's the title to your next live. Don't listen to anyone. Or sorry. Hey, it's your pizza to top, because you can take that saying and apply it to your life. It's your life. It's your life to top. What you do with your life and how you put those toppings on, which is your life experience as you go through. That's it. There you go, Bacon. I just gave you a really good fucking. You're welcome. Send me a check for $2.95, please. Do you burn wheels, Phil? I've probably burnt more wheels than the average. If I had to add up over a 25-year as an owner operator, 25 years owning my own trucks, there's 10 tires on every truck, and at times we owned multiple trucks, not just mine. I would have to say that over the years, I'm probably somewhere around 250, $300,000 in burnt up tires. So yeah, I've done a little bit. Yeah, but you can't just move to Canada. The application I saw and read requires French. I don't think you have to. You can do it in either English or French. I don't think you have to speak both. It's a bilingual country, but it's bilingual English or French. Both languages are our official language. Augustus, good to see you. Hello, Uncle. I'm out here in Nova Scotia. You're speaking absolute truth. I love Nova Scotia. My whole family, but like going back grandfathers wise, my part of my dad's side of the family comes out of Spring Hill, Nova Scotia, and my mom's side is Truro. So we are. I was born in Toronto, but all the generations before me, my brother and I were the first ones born in Toronto, but all the generations before us come out of the East Coast. So glad to have you here, man. Thank you for being here. Are you American? Nope, Canadian. No free speech. Well, here's the thing: it's free speech if as long as you're willing to pay for it. Well, then to become free, what price are you willing to pay for your free speech? Well, then it's not free anymore. You're paying a price for it. There is a Ukrainian sitting in Alabama jail for killing a son and mother. Well, then he should be. That's all I'm going to say. Baking, you can get deep fried Mars bar in Scotland. I've never had a Mars bar. I've had deep fried ice cream. I've had deep fried Twix. I've never had a Mars bar. Arrest those who allow them to drive or give them jobs. Um, I agree with that. I agree with that. If you start at that level, it'll never make it down to those guys being on the road. Right? Start pulling CVORs, start pulling fucking licenses, like operating licenses and shit like that. When a company starts tacking up enough fines and they have to shut the doors, you've solved the problem. And then, of course, 2 weeks later, they're going to open up under another fucking name and try it again. But you got to start somewhere. Do I want to be a politician? No. Be honest with you, no, I don't. I would probably do okay as a politician, but I can't say that I'd be happy doing it. How do you know if your rig is in spec for the route you're taking if you don't speak the language? Um, exactly. You think about truck drivers, everybody just thinks you get in the truck and you drive the truck, but that's not the case. Yes, you do. But you're doing, multiple calculations a day, fuel, mileage, time, appointments. You got to be able to walk in. In my case, most of my work was flatbed. So, you're making appointments. You're having to talk to either, receive shippers, receivers, forklift operators. If somebody's taking a very expensive, like $1 million piece of machinery off my trailer, and these guys are working, say they're using special lifts or capability lifts or forklifts, and I can't actively communicate with them in a proper manner, and that gets damaged, who's that on? Right? You gotta be. You gotta be. That's why they cut a hole in the floorboard in the truck to piston shift so they couldn't read the restroom signs. Well, they do that for other reasons. Are you going anywhere tomorrow? Oh no, I'll be here tomorrow. Sorry, I'm quickly fucking running through the comments because I'm way behind again. I never followed Charlie just before, just never paid attention. And Power Station, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. Seattle the last 10 years. Okay, Cheese, I didn't agree with everything Charlie Kirk said, but most still. Again, Cheese, whether you agreed with him or whether you didn't, that's irrelevant. He didn't deserve to die for what he was saying. Brian calls me the British pain in the arse. Yeah, you're a large fucking hemorrhoid, is what you are, dude. You're a British hemorrhoid. Your foul language is a perfect example of who you are. No, no, I don't agree with that. Does Alan, does my language or my choice of words insult you? Does it insult you or does it offend you? Give me an answer if you're still here. I'm behind in the comments, like I said. If it does, let me know. Does my choice of words or the way I talk or anything like that, does it offend you or hurt you or insult you? And then we'll continue the conversation when I see what your answer is. Hi, bud. You give me a shout out uh, to my buddy Nathan. You tried this yesterday, didn't you? Or no, not yesterday. The day before. Do better, Nathan. Do better. Okay, you guys shut up for 2 minutes, would you? Just shut up for 2 minutes and let me relight my cigar. A good debate requires both parties speak and learn from each other and should come away with more understanding. Thank you. Heart matters. You said it better than I was. I was explaining it, but you said it much better than I did. And I think at the heart of all of what you've just said there is just respect, right? It's just common decency and respect. Everybody's agreeing with you. Heart matters. Good on you. Good job. Okay, I'm at the bottom here. You guys shut the fuck up for 2 seconds. Let me finish what I'm saying here. All right, let me finish what I'm saying. Let me light my cigar. There we go. Ah, thanks, guys. Hey, Wheel Burner, how's it going today? They say that people who swear more are more honest. You know what? They might be. They might be. They may not be. I don't know. Everybody I know talks like I do. Does that mean that they're uneducated? No. Does it mean that they're stupid? No. Does it mean they have low IQs? No. I talk the way I talk because and I don't give a damn whether it offends you or insults you or pisses you off, that the fact that I use the occasional foul word when I'm talking, and I don't care because that's my right. So if it insults you, that it's your problem. If it hurts your feelings, that's a you problem. It's not my problem. I'm just talking. I'm just saying what I say and I'm talking about the way I talk. If it insults you or it hurts your feelings or pisses you off, that you need to look within yourself as to why. What is it about that? The fact that I won't, or a lot of other people won't, they won't sit down and adhere to the norms or what everybody says or what maybe you think is the norm. Well, it's not normal to talk like that. Says who? Says who? Where the fuck are you from? It, it's just the way it is. Hey, son, this exact thing was supposed to happen on both sides of industry and wheel burners and wherever. I've got to watch it fail firsthand. Even the example of autopilot, while correct, still necessitates pilots. Yeah, exactly. Big cigar, yeah, it's not bad. What's your thoughts on 9/11, dude? That's there's a thousand fucking. When it first happened, what's the first thing you think? My God, this is fucking tragic. And then after you have those thoughts, you get angry, right? The nation get and I'm talking about America, but Canada as well. The nation, the countries, they get angry, and then they got to find somebody to go after for it. But then here it is, all these years later, and I don't know about you, bootlicker, but I've heard a thousand different conspiracies of who's responsible, how it went down, who knew before it happened, who knew after it happened, who was truly responsible, who was in on it. Who do you believe? Who do you believe? Who do you believe? Do you believe the government? I don't believe a fucking lick of the word, a lick of fucking what my government, the Canadian government, tells me. I don't believe the damn word of it. Um, do you believe the American government? No, come on. Do you believe all the right wing? No. Do you believe the left? Do you believe this station, that station, it's so scrambled that you'll never know. Bootlicker, you'll probably never know the fucking actual truth. That's a problem. In the great chicken or egg debate, which came first? The rooster. There you go, Putty Cat. You got it. What's your thought on the gentleman's agreement between big three Japanese motor companies in the 90s? Um, I don't know about you, Nate, but and I'll be honest with you, I can't say that 100% that I know exactly what you're talking about. But I will say that the Japanese auto manufacturers in the 90s put forth the time, the effort, and the money into their uh, designing, building, and now you've got cars today. You're like, oh, I'll be honest with you, like most of the Honda vehicles and Toyota vehicles are probably the best in there. You take the average Honda, the goddamn fucking wheels will fall off before that engine will quit. You can get upwards of 500,000 miles out of a Honda, and it still keep on going. Um, but because of the work they did and the investment they did back then, and not to kill each other as well. I mean, like not to try to fucking push each other out of the market. They all decided to get along and hey, let's work together and make this, we can basically Japan invaded America with the auto manufacturing and Canada. Got to sort the lies from the truth and everything. Well, but when there's so money, bootlicker, you'd spend an entire lifetime of just doing that. You wouldn't be able to go to work. You wouldn't be able to enjoy your family. You wouldn't be able to do that. You wouldn't be able, dude. It could take you fucking all the rest of your life to work through all of that for 9/11. Hello from Lake Elsinore, California. You're so awesome, Sauce. Just have a blessed day. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. What flavor granola bars you have behind your shoulder? Fuck if I know. This isn't even my garage, man. What do we got back there? Nature Valley, sweet and salty. Yep. I'm house sitting for my brother, so I'm in my brother's garage. I'm not even in my own house. Small batch theory. Is there enough to do a small batch theory? Or is there too much to do a small batch, depending on what you're talking about? Greetings, Brother Brown. Good to see you, Buck. Damn good to see you, son. How are you, man? What's in the cigar? This is a Rocky Patel. I just took the ring off it, took the band off it. This is a Rocky Patel. It is one of their. It's called the Winter Collection. And it's really good. This is the second one I've ever smoked. I smoke all of Rocky Patel's and Alec Bradley's, but these are new to me, and this is the second one I've smoked. And God damn it, they're fucking good. They're delicious. All I'm going to say on the gentleman's agreement, my first Gen Q was stated to make 278 horsepower on the sticker of the engine. Even it was proven to make well over 300 horses when tested. Yeah, but they did that on purpose because they had to. Yes, the car could go through, could put out, was putting out 305 or 310 horse, but for emissions and tax reasons, it was on the sticker on the block, it would come out at 280. They did that for a reason. Who else did that? Did Audi do it? I think Audi did it. Um, Subaru didn't do it. Who else did? There was a couple other manufacturers. Japanese weren't the only ones that did that. Hi from Iran. Good to see you, man. Your thoughts on Indian immigrants? You know what? We've already done that. We've already done that this morning. But um, on the immigrants, I have no problem with immigrants. What I think is broken is the immigration system in which the immigrants are coming to Canada. That I have a fucking issue with. I have a severe problem with because in Canada, our immigration system is broken. M and it's broken to the point in a way that I mean that our government and certain people, individuals, corporations are able to use that and move it or get rid of it for a short term. It's ridiculous. Our If our immigration system was working the way it was originally set up to work, we wouldn't have a lot of the immigration issues that we have, right? Immigration is necessary. It's absolutely necessary for Canada and the United States. Whether you like hearing that or not, too bad. It's absolutely necessary because unfortunately, both economies are growing faster than the workforce can supply the workers. And that's why immigration was set up originally, right? Immigrants were brought in to make up the difference because the industry and the economy is growing faster than the population. We're not making enough people fast enough to fill the need. And that's why immigration was originally set up. Now it was set up and they were supposed to go, okay, we're going to have X amount of people per year come in based on the growth of the country. And then they would adjust those numbers if the economy slowed down or if it sped up or whatever. Nowadays, they open the immigration gates, and usually it's just before an election, right? And the liberals were famous for this. They just did it on the last election, right? They opened up the immigration doors, brought all these people in and gave them housing, free medical, they gave them checks, gave them money, gave them everything. And then when it came time to vote, all these new immigrants, not knowing any better, it's not their fault, not knowing any better, went, wow, look at this marvelous man called Mark Carney or Justin Trudeau or fucking whoever. Look what they gave us. They gave us free money. They gave us free housing. They gave us free fucking medical. Oh, we're going to vote for them. And they bought the vote with immigrants. It sucks to hear, but it's what happens. Hi from Iran, the oldest country in the world. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Uh, in Asian, I can't find a good cigar. I don't know if you can or not. As you know, Mr. David Tyler attended the Living Legends race and he made an awesome announcement. He put all the feature winners into a drawing to win a fishing trip to Forgotten Angels. That would be cool. That would be cool. Did you post that, Buck? Like, did you put that up on your channel? Have I ever had a blind faith from Alec Bradley? Yeah. There's not a lot from Alec Bradley or Rocky Patel that I haven't smoked. I've smoked them all. Like, yes, I like Cuban cigars too, but I think the Nicaraguans and the Hondurans now are making cigars that are on par, if not even better than the Cubans these days. So all three agreed not to make cars over 300 horsepower, but secretly built monster engines that could house 1,000 on stock crank. You see, I didn't know that, Nate. I didn't know that. Yeah, all of my relatives live in your country, man, and that's fine. Santhan, that's fine. I got no problem with that as long as they came in, they came in legally, and once they got here, they started to contribute to the country they're living in. They're working, they're paying their taxes, they're doing their jobs, and they're being, contributing to the country and the growth of this country. I got no problem with that. I'm still gonna immigrate, and there's nothing you can do. You're probably right. No, our immigration is not as bad as the UK. You guys are all fucked up. Right. I'm just quickly trying to go through these because some of you guys are talking back and forth to each other. I don't need to read those. They gave us free Tylenol. Well, you're welcome. That Tylenol had to get paid for by somebody. Who are you to say that you are the president? Real money, I don't want to be the president. That is a fucking headache I wouldn't want. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Okay, so the winners from the past Saturday were entered. The trip will be announced soon. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, most of Central America makes great cigars now, which begs the question to sort of ask, do any dark meat Asian places have the climate to make good cigars? Honestly, man, bacon, I don't have a clue. That's a good question. I don't have a goddamn clue. My son is the only white kid in his class. Well, Jay Horsley, let me ask you, and again, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm not trying to piss you off. I'm just giving you something to think about. Is that a problem for you? Is that a problem for you? And it's just like people say to me, they say to me on here, are you gay? No, obviously I'm not gay. I'm a straight man. I've got a wife, a girlfriend, and blah 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 blah. So my answer to that is no. But would it make a difference if I was? Is the fact that if I said, yeah, I'm gay, is that going to affect your life? Does that affect you in any way? Does that, if it insults you, again, that's your problem to deal with, not mine. Um, my son is the only white kid in his class. Okay. When I went to school, my classrooms, when I was a kid back in the fucking 70s, there were probably, I would say probably 75% white, and there was a couple of black kids in my school. There wasn't a huge influx of Indians or immigration like that. So there'd be mostly white kids and a couple of black kids. I didn't fucking think nothing of it. I can agree I'm British. Well, there you go. Agree with that. Where are you, bro? I'm out in Alberta. I'm out in Alberta, Canada. I thought you smoked outside. Well, I'm in the garage, so technically I'm still outside the house, Sherry's. Technically, right? Now the garage door is closed because it was a little windy and it was a little chilly this morning. But I think the temperature's probably I can probably crack that door open now. And it's probably warm enough now. There wasn't a black person in my class. It just shows the shift. Oh, maybe it does. But again, it shouldn't insult anybody. It shouldn't insult anybody. And that's just my opinion. If it insults you and you think differently, fine, think differently. I'll respect that. I respect your right to think any way you want to think. I'm not going to say that my way of thinking is right. My school was the second most diverse school in the state. I was basically the minority, but that didn't matter. Exactly. People have such low thinking standards nowadays. Real money, that's a point. And we're not insulting anybody here, but that is a point. No, it would only affect my life if you were gay and we were in the gym locker room together. Other than that, what difference if we were in the gym locker room together? Right? If there's a gay man in the gym locker room, he's in there getting changed, having a shower, getting changed. He's going home or going to the gym or doing. He's no different than you are. The fact of what he does in his bedroom at home, which is none of my business or yours, why is that relevant? Would you let strangers into your home to change your home rules? Magic, absolutely not. I would expect, I would wholeheartedly expect that anybody, let's just say you, Magic, I'm just going to use an example. I would just wholeheartedly expect that, Magic, if you came to my home, you would respect the fact that you're in my home. This is, I've worked very hard, to build this home and have this home and keep this home and maintain this home, and that you would come in and respect the fact of all of that, and there's no rules per se, but you wouldn't come in and misbehave and carry on and start trashing and doing this and that and the other thing. I would expect. So you look at it the same way. Right? You look at your house like your country. Would you expect strangers to come into your country and change your country's rules? No, I wouldn't. Is it happening, and has it already started happening? Yes. Language, please. I have children watching. Kayla Matta, I apologize, for that, just briefly, but I'm going to say this. My channel is rated for 18 over, and I tried the best I can, and I'm not always successful. I do the best I can to try to make sure that, everybody in here is at least over 18. But I can't police that. Unfortunately, I can't police that. I can't, and I've already run into the situation where I've gotten an email from an angry mom who was sitting, was walking by the couch, and her kid was sitting on the couch, and he was 8 years old, and he was watching me, and he heard the F word, the F bomb shit, damn, he heard some foul language. She grabbed the phone, went through the channel, got the email, and sent me an email, and basically tore me a new ass. And all I could say back to her is, it's not my job to police your children or to raise your children or to, you know, make sure your children are watching appropriate. That's your job. It's not my job to parent your children. It's your job to parent your children. Now, if my language here is because you're watching it and your son just happens to be nearby and you're watching it for your entertainment, then you know what? All I would suggest, Kayla, is maybe bow out and go back and watch the replay when one of the kids isn't around. Okay. That's, I'm trying to find a happy medium for you here. That's all. They say it's not how you act, it's how you react. That's very good. That's a very good point. And it is true, you know. You can say, and here we'll go back to the same thing about freedom of speech. You can say anything you want, right? Look around after whatever you say, and see how people are, different parties, people, whatever, are all reacting. Depending on how profound it is or whatever it is you're saying, you're going to get, if you've got like 30 people in a room, you'll probably get 15 different reactions, right? Some good, some okay, some whatever. But my kids love this dude. Well, you know what, hey, Kayla, I'm going to be honest with you. In this day and age, honestly, any language, Kayla, that your child is hearing me say, like any foul word or any, I guarantee you that kid's heard it out on the street 1,000 times before I said it. Unless you live on the top of a mountain down in Kentucky, right? Then maybe. But I can promise you, if your child is of age to go to school or go out to hang out on a playground or anything like that, I can promise you that that child has heard the F bomb more times in its life than I would say. So using that logic, it would be okay for a straight man to be in a woman's locker room at a gym. No, that's not the same logic. You're going way out to left field, Putty Cat. You just went right off the rails. The two of them have nothing in common. Nothing. That's gender. Man and woman, right? You don't put a man in a woman's locker room. You don't put women in a men's locker room. If you're a man and you're a gay man, you're still in the man's locker room. If you're a woman and you're a gay woman, you're still in the woman's locker room. Women's locker room, men's locker room. What's the difference between Batman and black people? Oh, come on. Being a white South African, I can just see the particular individual playing divide and rule all around the world, and it's working. I think people are easy to manipulate and keep blaming others, and it's happened. It's happened, and again, I hate to do this because I know I'm going to step in a pile of shit here, but just use Charlie Kirk, okay? The people that love him. The people that hate him, hate him. But the people that hate him are now at war with the people that loved him. Why can't you just respect the fact that the people that love him have the right to love him, and the people that hate him have that right to hate him? Why are you guys fucking warring with each other over the fact that these people over here don't believe the same thing that you do? And these people over here don't believe the same thing. These people are willing to go to fucking war and kill each other because they just don't agree. Come on. More people of the world have died in the name of God and religion. And basically, because these people over here have this religion and this is the way it is and this is how they see it. And these people over here have this religion and this is the way they see it. And they are going to kill each other in the name of God because these people don't agree with these people and vice versa. Simple as that. AJ Pluck says, hi. Well, you made my point and we agree. Magic, thank you. We always ask when it's America. Blah, blah, blah. I always ask, when was America great to the right? And honestly, I never get an intelligent response. It's great. Noon can answer this, and there's no main mojo. Paco, I'm a Canadian. So do I want to make America? Do I want to make America great again? Unfortunately, I don't have a say in it. My vote, which is my voice, if you're an American, your vote, which is your voice, and it gives you the right to use that voice. I don't have that for America. All I can try to do is slap as many fucking band-aids on Canada as we can. Greg, damn good to see you, man. You got to be careful. My Chihuahua curses like a truck driver now. Hey, that's not, I take full responsibility for that, Ryan. That one's on me. Okay. You let the Chihuahua watch. That one's on me. So no, I'm not sorry. Now, does he swear with a little Mexican accent? That's what I want to know. You guys are chatting back and forth. You look like Santa. Oh, Georgie, come on, man. You look like Santa's little brother. You can do better than that. Do you smoke a cigar? Yeah, Romeo, if I ever shut up long enough to smoke it, it keeps going out because I won't shut up long enough to smoke the fucking thing. Have you seen his takes or views? Are you talking about Charlie Kirk? Yeah, I didn't up until the time that he was assassinated, I didn't actively follow him, but I've seen what everybody else, a lot of other people in my position have seen. I've seen, the TikToks, not the TikToks. I don't fucking watch TikTok, but I've seen the short videos. I've seen him on the campuses. I've seen the clips, the reels, and stuff like that. And that's the extent of what I've watched. I didn't feel it necessary to either jump on board with this man or to fucking tell this man you're fucking crazy, and nor should I, right? So here's the important thing. Okay, Tori, let's hear it. He literally said the Civil Rights Act was not right and shouldn't exist. Okay, well, Miguel, did that piss you off? He said he would not trust his pilot if his pilot were a woman or a black. Okay. So did that piss you off? Did that anger you and insult you and piss you off and fire you? Did that do that? If it did, um, fine. And guys, do me a favor. Um, don't insult the man on my channel here. Okay. That's not what we're gonna do here. Okay. But if he said those things, I don't know if he said, I never heard him say anything like that. But if he did say those things, did it insult you and did it piss you off and did it anger you? If the answer to that is yes, then fine. He has that right. Again, it's a freedom of speech. He's allowed to say whatever he wants. You don't have the right to kill him for it. The man didn't deserve to die for what he was saying, whether it was hate rhetoric or whether he was preaching the gospel. The man didn't deserve to die for it. Really, the guys with the Nazi symbol is talking about Kirk being a modern day Jesus. That's too on the nose. You know what? Even those guys without the Nazi symbol and swastikas, again, they can say all the hate rhetoric. They whether do I agree with what they say? No. Do I listen to it? No. Do I let it affect me? No. But if they said something that was absolutely horrendous or horrific, and they believe that they should be wiping out and genocide complete populations and races of people, they have the right to say it. They don't have the right to fucking do it. That's a different ball game. They don't, but they do have the right to say it. They can say whatever they want. Raymond, that is very true. The way you live does not redeem the way you die. I was just saying Charlie Kirk has done as much, if not more, for the world than Jesus. If that's your feeling on it, great. You have the right to say that. You have the right to feel that way. If it brings you jubilee and you're happy and it gives you a freeing feeling, I'll respect that. But do me a favor. If I'm looking at some of the comments here and they're getting a little, do not insult him or his memory, and you don't need to boast him as the next Jesus Christ. Okay, that's not going to happen here. I will talk to you about what happened to the man and why it happened. He was assassinated for what he was talking about, but we're not going to talk about whether he's the next God or whether he's the next Satan. The videos are all out there. Miguel, I get it. The videos are all out there, and it's not about my feelings. So what's it about then? He actively spewed hate, and that's not my opinion. Okay. So let's just say I don't know, and I'm not going to give an opinion on it. But let's just say that is true. Let's just say that he actively spewed hate. It's not your opinion. Let's say it's a fact. Does he have the right to do it? Dude, it's going to boil down to the same answer every single time. I'm just going to keep asking you the same question. In the United States of America, does he have the right to say it? Answer the question. Does he have the right to say it? He has the right to say it. That doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it okay for what? For who? All it is words. The man doesn't deserve to die for what he's saying, regardless of whether you feel it's hate speech or whether it's proven fact it's hate speech, whatever. I don't care. I will stand tall on the fact that I don't care what came out of his mouth, good or bad. He didn't deserve to die for what was coming out of his mouth. If he was fucking behind the scenes raping and killing little girls, he got what he deserved. Okay, that's a whole different ball game. But I could sit here right now and say, I hate blacks. I hate Jews. I think everybody, every one of them should be lined up on a wall and should be shot, killed, and assassinated. I don't, but I could say that. And Would I deserve to die for that? Do I deserve to die for that? I have the right in Canada and the United States to say anything I fucking want. Unfortunately, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Or even better, can one realize that one person said live rent free in their heads without their agency? That's a very good point. If something is said that you don't like or you don't agree with, or if it angers you or hurts you, you have one of two choices. You can dismiss it, or you can debate them, or you can, put a rebuttal up. But you don't. Your rebuttal isn't a fucking weapon. Use your brain. That's your weapon. Here's your weapon right here. Get paid for what you know, not for what you do, folks. That's your weapon. You don't fucking kill him. If anybody, myself included, or goddamn Bacon, or anybody says anything you don't like, bring a rebuttal, debate, rebuttal, whatever you want to call it. Leave your firearm at home. Leave your weapon at home. The only weapon I want you bringing is your brain. That's all I'm bringing. We will not rejoin in this tragedy. Deepest sympathies. Okay. Why is that extreme, though? Canada has free speech since when? Well, Drew, our free speech got fucking trampled 4 years ago, right? Apparently, the FCC disagrees with you. No, you know what? But again, Miguel, this can go off on a fucking another thing. Who runs the FCC? Who sets the regulations and all that in place for the FCC? It's not the public. It's not the public. The goddamn amendments were put in place for the people, not for the government. They weren't there to put in place to protect the government. They were there to protect the fucking people. So when you've got a body like the FCC governing what can be said and what can't be said, who's in charge of the FCC? It's backwards. The people should be. It's not. Anyway, you know what? This is a topic that we could go 100,000 fucking years on, and it's one of those that let's just throw things up and go. Okay, like I can agree to disagree. Miguel, I'll be honest with you. You're giving me some shit to think about, and I like that. I like that. I'll walk away from today with something to think about, and I respect that. Right. Mm, hmm right to protest, but not in Canada. We learned that lesson the fucking hard way, didn't we? You ever tried oat cakes? Nope. That's what I want, just to talk. Well, you've done a great job, and I appreciate candid, your candor, and I appreciate at least you've been respectful. That's all we can expect from two people that don't maybe don't agree with certain things. That's fine. Just to change the subject, let's talk bikes, Brian. You still thinking of the M1800? I mean the 109R? Yeah, the Boulevard. Yeah, yeah. I've got Crag Rack. It's one of those things that I look and I find, and then I want to buy it. But I've got other things kind of on the burner, and I want to make sure that some other things are well taken care of before I start buying any kind of toys or anything like that. So, but yeah, I'm still going for the Boulevard, not doing Harleys. Do we eat ass in Canada? Oh, Adventure 2.0. Fuck you know it. It's also because you're Canadian. Many Americans would be calling for my death right now. Thank you for being kind. Well, in my humble opinion, why would they? Why should they be calling for your death for thinking the way you think and saying what you say? That would be just like they saying the same thing as Charlie Kirk. They shot him for what he said. Well, is somebody going to shoot you, Miguel, for what you say? They shouldn't. Yeah, Adventures 2.0. Not only do the men eat ass, but so do the girls. So do the women. Uh, I hope so for all our sakes. I apologize if I was being harsh. I've already got lived through speech a group didn't like that turned to violence. It was my work environment for a while. At some point, it doesn't matter. You're going to get to a point in your age, in your life, where you're going to see something, right? Or be involved with something. And it's not going to be a positive effect. It's going to be a negative effect. It's how you fucking take that, process it, and then deal with it. And what your reaction to it is what counts. As long as it's not as long as your first reaction is not to pull out a fucking weapon and start blowing people's heads off, right? Hmm, don't know what that was. I left you for 4 hours and you're still broadcasting. Are you a human or what? I haven't been going for 4 hours. I've only been going an hour and a half here this morning. I usually do about 4 hours a day. Every morning I do about 4 hours. I've only been going about an hour and a half here. Do you think a $70,000 settlement for a wrongful termination is good, or should I fight for more? I have a job, but that makes it all depends. How long were you there? Right? How long did you work there? How many years? What was your salary at the time that you were terminated or whatnot for your settlement? Um, you have to start looking at, okay, what are my future choices of where I'm going to work, my chances for advancement, stuff like that. You have to take all of that in. If you're getting a $70,000 settlement for wrongful termination, you've only been there for fucking 6 months, take it and run. If you've been there for 40 years, maybe not. You might want to fucking lawyer up and do a little chit chatting. I'm going to dip and run. Apparently, the conversation. Yeah. Take care, everyone. Miguel, thank you very much for being here, man. Appreciated it. Come on back anytime. Kirk literally spewed fish. Just talk about who cares? If he did or if he didn't deserve to die for it. I have a job. I see this as a way to advance myself. Well, if you can go to every job you go to, if you can get fucking fired with a wrongful death, oops, a wrongful terminations this case, hey, go for it. Karen, good to see you this morning, sweetheart. How are you? What do you do in life, or are you retired? Santu, I'm retired. I'm retired. I'm a retired truck driver. I was an owner operator. I drove truck for 35 years. I was an owner operator for 25 of them. And I'm done with trucking. Colby, Colby, I can see the way you think, and I guess in some degree I can kind of agree with it. Yes, okay, they got hung up. Charlie Kirk was shot. Yes, the person that did it is in jail. Correct. Okay. So he's going to get his justice and his due is coming. There are more important things. It's over and done with. Yes, to a degree, but how you need to just maybe take that one step farther. Okay. Before you get to the point with there are more important things, there's one more step, and that is how do we prevent it from happening again? Okay. Then you can go on. There are more important things to worry about. And it's just my opinion. I would never tell you that your opinion is wrong or that you're wrong in thinking the way you're thinking. You're not. I tend to agree with it to a degree, but maybe instead of just ending it with get it over and done with, you should maybe think of how next step would be how do we prevent it from happening again? There are more important things to worry about. That's all I would do. It was just a call center, and I made under 20 an hour. Oh. And you're gonna take a $70,000 they're offering you a $70,000 termination package? How long did you work there for? Have you ever driven across the Mackinac Bridge? Many times. Many, many times been across the Mackinac Bridge. The only thing I don't like about when you cross the fucking border in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan into Sault Ste. Marie, or in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario into Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. The only thing I don't like about that is you have to pay cash to cross that bridge. It's a cash. Every other border in fucking Canada, pretty much every other border in Canada, you can either pay with a debit card or they take a picture of your plate and you get billed, or they take a picture of your sticker and you get billed. The one in Michigan there in Sault Ste. Marie is the only one where you have to go and you have to have cash, and I think it's for a truck is like $75. Just trying to wake up, at a girl, get it into you, get it into you. There are so many questions about the official narrative of the shooter. You'll probably never know, right? Because the scandals and not the scandals, sorry, the conspiracy theorists have already jumped all over this, right? If this here is the fact, there are already 300 streams jumping off that fact of all different conspiracy theories. I got dropped with no package after making the company millions of dollars. Well, you might want to think about lawyering up. Old white man, Jesus, age Christ, be gentle. Come on, old white man. I'm 55. What stage of life I just retired. I'm retired. Ready to advance into something better and take advantage of living in Texas. Uh, Learn to be a cowboy, I guess. Automotive charges you 450 cash. Dooney at Prescott and no, in a truck we don't have to pay, right? When I cross at Ogdensburg, the company I was with had a card, so I just hand them the card, they swipe it, and da da da. Uh, so I never had to worry about that. Why isn't your smoke alarm going off? Who says there's a smoke alarm? This isn't even my house. I'm house sitting for my brother. Are you at ego, integrity versus despair yet from the Erickson theory of development? What the fuck are you talking about? Skyway in Chicago is $18 for 7 to 8 miles. Yeah, well, but you can also do the easy pass for that, right? Going across that skyway. I always had an easy pass. I never paid for the skyway either. Again, I'm just gonna quickly because some of you guys are talking to each other. So a quote I wish to leave y'all with, one of two. It was our fault, no one else to blame. You cannot play God, then wash your hands of the things that you've created. Good point. Good point. That would be a lesson all of us, or something all of us could think about, myself included. Two of two. Sooner or later, the day comes that you can't hide from the thing that you've done anymore. Commander William J. Adama, Battlestar Galactica. Dude, you're showing your age here, brother. You're showing your age. Hey, Grandpa, what's up? Just hanging out. Smoking a cigar, and I'm not being very successful with it. The I keep talking more than I'm smoking, and the cigars aren't like cigarettes, right? Cigars go out, so but I'm enjoying it. Save the great one. Who's the great one? Who's the great one? In our lifetime, we've got what? How many great ones have we got? With the great one, the first great one I heard of as a little boy was Gordie Howe, and then Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky was the great one, and then we've got the GOAT, right? It was supposed to be Michael Jordan. Now I think it's LeBron James. Who you talking about? Save the great one. Ah, Normandy, Roman Skunky. Hey, good to see you again, man. Good to see you again. It's nice to see a lot of you guys are coming back and coming back around, and the conversations are getting a little spicier, and they're getting a little better, and they're getting a little more interesting, and they're getting a little rowdy. Mm. Have I sucked a joint today? No, we don't smoke joints. In the Erickson theory, ego integrity is the stage where you look back at your life and are at peace. Otherwise, you find despair. That is regret for your actions that you took or didn't take. Okay, so basically, what you're saying, thank you for breaking that down. I appreciate that. Do I have any regrets in my life? Right? Any regrets that would cause me despair or problem or anything. And I've said this before. I've said this before on the channel. I have very few regrets. I don't. I've done everything, pretty much everything in life that I wanted to do. One regret is one true regret that I have is that I never served in the military. I never took up arms for my country. I never served my country in that manner. Now, I've tried, in later life to make up for some of that, but I'm too old, obviously, to go join the military now. That is a true regret. I have a true regret from that. But anything that in my life where I've done something and caused despair or hurt or pain on anybody else, I've now gone back through many, many, many years of recovery and made my amends or done the best I can to make my amends to those people that I crossed, fucked over, pissed off, hurt, whatever like that. So do I, at this point in my life, am I comfortable without a guilty conscience? I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so. I've got an ex-wife, but I've got 6 daughters, and my children have been raised. I think I've done my part as a father. I've raised my children. My kids all have college and university educations. Um, that kind of thing. So I think I've done that. I'm proud. That's something I'm very proud of. I'm proud of all of these kids. Not so proud maybe necessarily of the marriage itself, but you live, you learn, you go on, you carry on, and whatnot, and you don't make the same mistakes. And I live now, and I have a girlfriend, and we live together, and we love each other, and we're carrying on our lives, and I don't have any. Definitely no regrets about that. Learn sorry for my mistakes. Well, that's it. What's the definition of insanity? Making the same mistake over and over again, or doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, you know what? You learn from your mistakes. And that is something that took me a few years to learn. Okay. It took me a few years to learn that, right? I was prone to being stubborn and doing it my way. Do I regret choosing smoking? Not at this point. Ask me if I was dying. He's not promoting smoking, so why not, King? No, I don't promote it. I don't endorse it. It's a personal choice. If it offends you and you don't like that I'm smoking a cigar, then you know what? I don't ask you to watch. I'm not. I don't have a gun to your head making you sit there and watch what I'm doing. If you can get by with the fact that okay, I'm smoking a cigarette, that's fine. Simple as that. It doesn't get any easier than that. You know. At what point in your life you really think you would have had the opportunity to serve the interest of the people and not just the interest of the bureaucratic elite? You know what? Like the military. That's a very good point. But remember, salvation back in at a time when I would have been of age, right? You got to be 18 to join the military. So that would have been 1987. Things were a lot different back then than they are now, right? Much, much different. Um, when it comes to the political bureaucracy of the military. How many kids do I have? I have 6. French Navy, 1 year for me. Well, I didn't do it. The contact for you, yo, aren't you the guy that streams from your garden? Canadian, right? Well, I don't stream from my garden. I stream usually sitting in my backyard. If you want to call it a garden, call it a garden. Honest taxpayer. Oh, I've never met one yet. Come on, honest taxpayer. You're full of shit. You know it. I know it. We all know it. I pay my taxes, but I don't give a dime more than I absolutely have to. You're cool and interesting. You have an interesting hat. Show me your cap. What kind of? Oh, it's just a baseball cap, man. Just a simple cap. Just wearing it backwards because most of the time, if I go like that, then you're going to get a big glare off my glasses and you can't see my eyes. So if I do it this way, then it's a little bit better. That's all. It's just for lighting. I heard you had a lot of trouble in Ireland. I've never stepped foot on the land in the place. Never been to Ireland in my life. In the 70s and 80s. Well, in the 70s, I would have been like, guys, I was born in 69, right? So in the 70s, even if I go from 69 to 79, I'd only be 10. How much shit can you get in, between age 1 and 10? I'm only proud of my grades and my father. Well, you know what? Be proud of yourself. Have faith in yourself. Be proud of yourself. Stand up for who you are. Believe in who you are. You're never going to go far in life if you don't have the ability to have faith in yourself. Because if you don't have faith in yourself, all you're constantly going to be thinking negative. It's like, well, I'm not going to try this new thing because I'm probably going to fail. Well, if you have some faith in yourself and some confidence in yourself, you know what? You're going to try it, even if you think you might fail. You're going to try it anyway. And then if you fail, fine, learn the lesson, try it again. How the hell do you support 6 kids downriver? Let me tell you, 6 daughters at that. Six daughters downriver. That's a handful. And they're right now they're 10 years from oldest to youngest, 33 down to 23. Love your response. I plan to do some military service as well, age 22, and I'm in nursing school right now. Good on you. Good on you. Fuck, some of my favorite people in the world have been nurses. Doctors are good, but the nurses are the front line. Doctors are there to, maybe do a little bit of little this and that. And no, they don't kid yourself. Doctors are doctors. They work, but the nurses do all the heavy lifting. So hats off to you. Not gonna lie, y'all are savages with these questions. Hey, you know what? Bacon, don't put your face out there if you're not prepared to take a smack, right? Simple as that. Where's the truck? I sold the truck. I sold all everything I own, my trucks and everything like that. Donnie, good to see you, brother. What do you think Canada should do to correct the issues you're all currently having through your economy? You know what, Invader, you'd have to be a little more specific, really. Um, but if you want to go like just off the top of my head, okay, these are in no particular order, but just off the top of my head, and this is the Canadian, but this one here would actually apply to the Americans as well. How about we all just fucking mind our own business? My country, and Invader, your country too is guilty of this, has not spent, sent billions of dollars overseas, help this country, aid that country, fund this country, funnel money into that country. My country is just as guilty of it as yours. So how about we do this, Invader? Let's say the last number I heard for Canada was about 90 billion. The United States is probably 10 times that. But how about we take that 90 billion and we use it in-house, right, Invader? So we take care of all of our own military veterans that are fucking screaming for help and services. How about we take care of our seniors and make sure that they're set and comfortable? How about we take care of our own homelessness? How about we take care of our own education system? How about we take care of our own country within? And then if there's any money left over, yeah, spread it around. Let's help out somebody else. But that's not the case. That's not what's happening here, right? We've got homeless, senior citizens are starving to death. We've got military veterans blowing their fucking brains out, committing suicide because of the PTSD and the problems they have coming back from overseas. All of that can be stopped. All of that can be helped or aided if we took the time and the money to do it. The problem is they're sending all of that money that can be used overseas for other reasons. That would be the first one right off the top of my head there, Invader. I hope that answers you. He held, yeah, brother, stubborn as hell too. My way of personality. If it's not done my way, then I'm even what? Then what even am I? Turns out life is a hell of a lot easier when you actually listen to others. Well, here, remember this, Mantham. Life gives you the test first and the lessons later. I want you to think about that. Okay. I really want you to think about everything that's happened in your life, every hardship that's happened in your life. The hardship happened first, and then you got the lesson later afterwards of why and how it happened. Right. And that's about anything in life. You get the test first and the lesson later. And once you understand that, things will clear up for you. Have you ever been to jail? I'm not, no, I'm not going to discuss that. Brian, show him the tight. I'm not at home, Crag Rat. I'm not at home. It's at home, hanging on my coat rack. That's in part why I wear shades, man. Helps with the glare. Yeah, but I need these to read the comments. So, and I don't have a pair of sunglasses. Ben is my name. Good to see you. Wow, daughters. Yeah, that dude. Trust me. For a lot of years, that was a lot of estrogen running around my house. Right. That's a lot of fucking estrogen running around my house. That's a lot of PMS. That's a lot of cranky women. Trust me. Trust me. There was many a time I was coming in off the road at PMS week and just took another load and kept on going. Are you Canadian, Mr. Original? Yes, I am. I am. Watching from England. Good to see you, Cootie. Thank you very much. Evil Peachy, good to see you. Did you get a good price for the truck? I got $500 uh, under what I was asking for it, but I didn't have my truck. I didn't have my truck like priced high. I went around the whole market for this. Found six or seven trucks the same as mine, same mileage, same specs, or as close to mileage as I could. And then I averaged that price and then put my truck well below that to say, and that's how I sold my truck. And that way, whenever somebody was coming to negotiate with me, I didn't have to drop the price of the truck. I was already below everybody else. Watching from Belgium. Thank you for that. Welcome in from Belgium. I remember us sending something like 2 trillion. Evil Peachy TV, YT. It could be. I don't know what the fucking number is these days. It's big. It's more than you and me make a week. Let me tell you that. Brian, after all I've been through with Alan since 2020, I've been told I'm his private nurse. When nurses would come to change his dressing, I would end up redoing it and cleaning it. Oh, I believe it. I believe it. It sucks that maybe you had to do that, but I would have to say, and this is only because of my own experience, because I'm going to tell you something honestly, Karen, you probably already know this. I've busted every bone in my body. Okay, I've broken arms, dislocated shoulders. Like, look at these fucking hands. Look at that. I've busted every finger on these fucking hands, including thumbs. I've done it all. Everything on me, every bone. The only thing I've never broke is my neck, and I was gonna say my back, but I even fucking broke part of that. I busted everything. And who were the first to put hands on me? Were the nurses. Who were the first to get you calm, get you settled, get you treated, get you triaged, get you diagnosed? The nurses. These men and women that are the nurses these days. Even just what the hernia that I had like last month or the month before, and I had to have surgery for. Right when it happened, I was rushed to the fucking hospital. First person I saw was a nurse. Right. Well, after the admitting, lady in admitting, but after that, first person you see is a nurse. She takes your information, she checks you, she's poking, she's asking all the relevant questions. And that way, when the doctor comes in, he's got a better idea of what he's looking at. How about we hire younger generations to work? Mike, that's a great idea. Try finding, I'm not going to say this about all of them, but a lot of the younger generation don't want to work because work is beneath them or the pay that they're getting would be beneath them. I know people that I've actively said, I will pay you this amount an hour and they won't get off the couch to do it. They'd rather sit there unemployed and then complain they can't find a job. Why would you not take a job paying you 16 or $17 an hour? At least it's fucking something. and take that job. You don't have to like the job, but do the goddamn job and still look for something else that meets your needs or whatever you want to do. But I'm finding with the younger generation, that's not the case. They're more inclined to want to sit on the couch with their phone or their iPad or at their computer and complain about not being able to find a job. Or I can't find a job paying me $200,000 a year, and I only want to work 35 hours a week, and you know I want 12 weeks vacation every year, and I want a company car, and I want to work at McDonald's or just down the street. Like, fuck off, fuck off. No, but that's not to say, though, on the other hand, that I have not seen some very hardworking younger kids. And I'm not bragging. Don't get me wrong. This is in no way, shape, or form a brag. But most of my daughters are all self-employed, or the jobs that they're working are they're very hardworking people, and I think that comes as a result of myself and their mother and the strong work ethic. I've always had a very strong, hardcore work ethic. You work, and you don't go home until the work is done. You don't punch out at 5 o'clock. When the work is done, then you go fucking home, and that was drilled into me. And that was I never pushed that on my kids, but they saw that. And it was the same with their mother. Their mother was a very hardworking person as well, and she had a very strong work ethic. Um, and my kids saw that. So my kids are part of that younger generation, or at least the three younger ones are, and they work hard. And there are others around. But I would almost like to say, or not like to say, I hate having to say it, but um, the generation of work, the younger generation, say between 18 and 25 right now, are more content to sit at home and do nothing than to earn a paycheck because the money is beneath them. Everyone collects something. What do you collect? Um, Watches. I collect watches. I used to collect sunglasses, watches, and shoes. And now right now it's just watches. What top dollar pay? What's top dollar pay? The same $2 pay everyone else gets that hasn't rising with inflation despite your work. Mike, that's a good point, right? But at least you're fucking trying. If you're a kid out there and you're trying. Now, here's an example, Mike. Okay. If you're a 20-year-old right now, this is 2025. I don't know what the fucking date is, but let's say it's 2025. It's still September. If you're a 20-year-old kid, let's say you're 23. So you've done a couple, you came out of high school at 18, you've done a couple years of college. You've got some student loans, you might have a little bit of credit card loan. Now you're going to go into the fucking workforce. A couple of years later, you might get married. You meet somebody, you get married. So let's say you're in your mid to late 20s by this happens. Now you want to buy a house. Mike, do you know any 25 to 28-year-old or 29-year-old that can afford to buy a house? And it's not the actual afford to buy it, it's the down payment that's required to basically the whole package. Do you know any of these kids that are able to buy a house? I'm sure, Mike, there's going to be the odd one. Yeah, you might know one. But I don't know how old you are, but when I was that age, my first house was bought at 23. You can't find a 23-year-old right now coming out of fucking college or university that can afford to buy a house. And it's unfortunate, they probably never will. The only way one of my kids, let's say the three younger ones, because the three older ones are off and they're doing a little better and they're whatever. But let's just say the three younger ones that are working and slugging it out and they're going to work every day. Chances are they will not afford be able to come up with the down payment, and be able to afford to buy a house unless somebody dies and wills them the money. And who's going to die and will them the money? Right. Goddamn bacon. Karen Manthorn is one of my longest subscribers. Karen's been with me her and Alan have been with me since the beginning of the channel, and she's just a doll. She is just a doll, and I absolutely love her to death. What's my opinion on Trudeau, Mister Original? What's my opinion on Trudeau, Mister Original? I don't have to think very hard about this. I'll just say this. If Justin Trudeau was in my swimming pool and he was drowning, the only way I would save his life would be to take my foot off his head. Does that help you? Cannot disagree with your response at all. The leaders here only seem to do what helps them politically and not what actually solves the problem. Well, Invader, it's unfortunate that the United States has a huge political system. Like you guys have got, you've got municipal level government, then you've got state run government, then you've got fucking federal level government. Now, so does on Canada, but we just don't have as much of it because our population's 1/10 yours. But but um, what is the common? Or it's commonly known when a politician wins a seat. Let's say you're a governor and you win the governorship, or if you're a senator and you win your seat and whatever like that. After you've won, and you won because you made all these promises, and this is what you're going to fight for, and this is what you're going to do. After you have won, what is the first thing you start doing? You start getting ready to try. You've now got the job. Now you're going to try to figure out how to keep the job, right? And that's unfortunate. That is. You think it's become worthless in the policies? Do you think the same about the Canadian dollar? What do you think comes after? So, I think, unfortunately, Invader, I think we're going to go digital before that happens. Like before the dollar becomes worthless, and we're back to trading gold and silver and precious metals. Um, but I think Canada is cramming it. They're really trying to, um, give us the pros of having a digital currency, which I absolutely disagree with. Just for the simple fact, Invader, you drove truck a long time, just like I did. And yeah, you've got your credit card and you've got your debit card, but I always had cash on me. Like not on me, but I had a small little safe in my truck, and I always had, $500 to $600 cash in my truck. What is going to go, in the event that something happens? My credit card stops working. Whatever. There's a glitch. A satellite falls out of the sky. Whatever. I've always got cash on me. Now, if the way of cash goes, and we're back to trading, I'll give you three goldfish and a donkey for that, for that mule or for that cow and that thing over there. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. What do I think comes after it? I'll be honest with you, Donnie. I think that that's going to be beyond my years. I hope it is. I don't want to see it. The nurses I had this morning were delightful. Yeah, the sponge bath probably wasn't. Yeah, there you go. Car wash is saying it. The sponge bath wasn't too bad. Do I accept French drivers as long as they can speak English? I accept. I The French drivers, I would say, would be no different than, say, like the immigrants, the Indians, the Afghanis, the Pakistanis, or whatever country they're coming from. As long as they can read, write, and speak English and obey enough that they can read the traffic signs, the laws, the detour signs, and all the shit, and they can go into a shipper and receiver and communicate back and forth effectively and clearly and precisely. I gotta fuck. What do I care about the French driver? Sure, no problem. I accept them. Elisa, good to see you. Would you disagree with? I would disagree with you about the younger generation. Every single one of my friends have work, and a lot of people I went to school with have a job, and I'm 23. You know what? I wasn't saying evil peachy. I wasn't saying that to piss off a generation of people. Okay. All I'm talking about is what I've seen in my own life experience. Okay. And if your life experience at 23 and what you see is different than mine, then that's fine. That's fine. I'm just going through experience of what I've seen of trying to hire or pay people, or other situations or other businesses that I deal with, and they're probably, I'm talking to these people that own this company over here, and he's got this problem going on as well. That's all. 16 or 17 an hour isn't an issue until you start looking for a work with a 50 plus, plus in debt to start. No, that's a very, very good point. And unfortunately, Mike, a lot of the younger people that are, they come out of university or they come out of college, a $50,000 debt, being 50 grand in debt is it's normal. Some people are more like anybody that wants to become a doctor or a fucking anything like that, you're looking at a couple $100,000 worth of debt. What can you do? Right? It's almost like they don't get a fair shake. We want so much cash. I like cash. Nurses are underrated. They're underrated. They're overworked. And they're underpaid. I feel the same way about nurses as I do about firefighters, EMT workers, like all those guys that the first respond, all the first responders. I think they don't get the respect they deserve. First of all, they're underpaid, way underpaid. They're way overworked, and they're held to an accountability level that's almost godlike. So if they make a mistake, their career is ruined. Or if they make a judgment call that may be iffy or this or that, it's it's a tough fucking deal right now being a nurse or an EMT or a cop or a firefighter. It's a tough gig, man. I don't know if I would want to do it. Yeah, agreed. Goddamn bacon, agreed. Manic pandas, how that's how you also get exploited in the 21st century workforce. I'm not going to say that doesn't happen. God damn it, you know what it does. But if at least if I'm offering you a job at say $17 an hour and you don't like the job and you're feeling that I'm exploiting you, well, maybe my business and what I'm offering, maybe that's all I can afford to pay you, and maybe that's all that job is worth. It's not. I'm not asking you to come in and do my fucking taxes. Maybe I'm asking you to come in and do a little yard work, around the yard or lay out some gravel or fucking whatever, shit like that. That's the difference. Not everybody out there is trying to exploit the young worker. That does happen. Don't get me wrong, it does. It was worth it to work hard back then, since there was hope. $600,000 starter homes are killing it for the young people. Oh, vagabond. Like I just watched, as housing went by over say the last say 25, 30 years of buying houses, right? You buy your first house. The very first house I bought was in Waterdown, Ontario, and I paid $137,000 for it, something like that, 137 or 140,000 bucks for it, right? And then the next house after that was a significant jump. It was 4 years later, a significant jump. That house there was $385,000. The last house I sold, right, when in Ontario, when I moved out here, like we're talking about fucking numbers that a new first time home buyer, you couldn't afford to buy that. No first time home buyer could afford to buy that house off of me. And I felt bad, right? To a degree, right? I wanted the money out of my house. Don't get me wrong. In 2000, on average, a house cost four times the amount of family's annual income was. Now that has nearly doubled, just passing seven times the annual income in August 2024. That's scary. Invader, that's scary. But it also shows you, right? Like I said, the generation right now that are just finishing college and coming out into the workforce, that 23, 24, 25-year old, chances are, unless they win the lottery, somebody dies and wills them money, or you've obviously got the exceptions, right? You've got, super highly paid engineers that are making, $1 million a year, or programmers, or anything like in the tech or something like that. That is, there's always the exception, but the average kid is probably never going to own a house. Never going to own a house, including three of my own. Superstar Car Wash has a bunch of 25 and younger making 130 a year to 190 a year. And then that's why you see a lot of the workforce, the kids that want to work, they're up in the patch. Ryan, you got the same thing down there in Texas. They're going out and they're working out in the patch. They're working the oil fields. Why? because you don't need a fucking education to do it. They'll teach you how to do it. It's dangerous work, but yeah, you're going to make 190 grand a fucking year. Is it worth it? If you're a disciplined young man, say you're 25 years old, you're strong, you're healthy, your mental faculties are in good shape. Yeah, make yourself a 5-year plan. Go out onto the patch making 190, 200 a year, right? Do that for 5 years. Live moderately. Don't spend it. You don't go buy the new Dodge Ram 3500 dually. You don't go fucking buy all the toys. You can do that for 5 years. And after 5 years, reassess your life. You'll be in a much better position. Problem is, it's not the discipline isn't there. What's your body fat index? Probably, I don't know. Probably about fucking anywhere between 12 and 15% right now. I'm not as lean as I used to be. I don't have a six pack. I probably got about an 8 or a 10 pack going on, right? I've been working since I was able, but I will never be able to buy a house with how things are right now. And I hate to hear that from people like you. You said you're 23 years old. That's fucking heartbreaking for a guy like me, right? Especially for a guy like I worked, my career went 35 years. I worked 35 years. I worked very fucking hard and to do and be able to do the things that I'm doing today. And to see somebody like you that let's just say you're a fucking damn hard worker. You're dedicated, you're honest, you want to work, you're driven, you're hungry. And all of that back in my day would take you to the top and you'd be making great money. You'd be able to buy a house, drive a nice car, take care of your family. Nowadays, are you fucking crazy? My mom and dad's age, my father went to work, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, right? In my day and age, in the beginning, I worked. My wife didn't really have to work a whole lot, but she did. But then it went to being a two income. You needed two incomes to keep the family and the household and the lifestyle going. Sorry, I got to. Sorry, got a phone call. Nowadays, you need a 4 or 5 or 6 person. You need 5 or 6 people in your house, all earning a true wage to make a life. That's true everywhere in the world. You won't be able to afford a house in today's day and age if you're a young graduate. And again, like I said, it's heartbreaking. I bought my first house at 18. I was lucky enough to be able to gift my 20-year-old daughter her first house. Otherwise, I don't know how they'd get on the ladder. Warren, it's the same with me. I'm not in a position to gift my children houses. Okay, I'm not. But if I was, I probably would, right, to give them a leg up. My my contribution is to make sure that they were educated, right? That there was money there for them to go to college and university. That was my contribution. And that's what I worked a lot of years for. Yeah, I worked hard because I wanted to be able to retire and take care of myself and enjoy a little bit of my life when I got older. But as a father and as a family man, my responsibility was to my children, and mostly it was to make sure that they were safe, right? They were healthy, and that when it came time for them to leave the nest, that they had as many tools in their toolbox that would enable them to go get into the workforce or get into life and be able to support themselves. That was my contribution. I'm not in a position to be able to pass on a house. Besides, I got 6 kids. I can't divide my house 6 ways. So this question will be a bit personal for you. I expect a detailed answer from you. You lived all these years of life. Have you ever found God in your life? And when you die, you think you'll meet your creator? That's a very personal question. Saeed, did I find God? First of all, I didn't know God was lost. So did I have to find him? No, I didn't find God. Um, do I have God in my life? I live a spiritual life. There is a power greater than myself out there, which I would refer to as God, if you want to call it that. But do I believe in God as in, Jesus Christ, your Savior, and then, God and the apostles and all that? Or do I believe in, Islamic or Buddha? Or do I believe in a religion? Do I have a religious following? Do I follow any particular religion? No. Do I have a spiritualness about me that I follow and that, I would have, say, per se, a God of my understanding? That's greater than myself? Absolutely, yes. Do I think when I die that I'll meet my creator? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think about it. We lit our smokes at the same time. Did we just become best friends? Hey, Ultra Flight, maybe we did. Maybe we did. Slim Jaw, I don't make comments about anything regarding, Israel or fucking Palestine or I just don't. I don't comment about that. I don't. I prefer to talk more about how to fix my own country, and then maybe if there's anything, like I said before, if there's anything left over, we can go help out somebody else. Not trying to be disrespectful to her or her husband. I'm asking questions I believe need to be asked to get the perspective. Oh, Bacon, I didn't think you were being disrespectful. A mortgage rate on a house are another factor, and the dating market is dead as well. People aren't having traditional families. When you take the prospect of a family away from men, they drop out of work. Possibly. Mortgage rates are obviously a huge factor. I never had issues with mortgage rates. Because I've bought multiple houses, and I always used um, different factors. I didn't just go to the bank, my bank, and say, "Okay, I want a mortgage. I'm selling my house. I need to remortgage. I'm buying a new house, and I need a mortgage on a house." I think there are ways around certain things if you know how to do it. And I'm not saying I did know how to do it. I had to have some good advice from some good people. The dating market is dead as well. Dude, I've never been on the dating market in my life. Never. Okay. I've been married twice and divorced twice. And in between those marriages, I've had girlfriends. But I never played the dating market. I just went if my first marriage ended, I was single. And you know what? You just go through life and you hook up with another girl or whatever, but I never was actively dating. I can't speak from that kind of experience. I don't have it. Gotta go. Your housemate made you dinner. Atta girl. I mean, atta boy. I mean, atta girl. I don't know. Which one is it? Take care. Behave, folks. Yeah, you guys all behave yourself. You should never work for exactly. You should never, and that is something that I've said, and I've made shorts about it. And if you're going to go into the workforce, and it's not just the workforce, it's your life in general. Okay, before you go, know your worth. Know what you're worth. I want you to think about that. Know the value. Know your own value, your personal value, whether it be you as a person or you as a professional in a career. Know what your value is and don't settle for less. Or maybe settle for a little bit less, knowing if there's a guarantee that you're going to get your value after you've proven yourself. That's that. But always, always, always know your value. Know what you're worth and don't settle for less. Don't accept somebody else's of what they think your value is. Only you know that. A digital currency means the government doesn't like you. And they'll just pull the plug. That's a big scare for me. If Brian doesn't toe the line as a good boy, all of a sudden, my currency or my income or whatever, however they have it set up, because in Canada they're trying to get it so that it's digital currency and there's everybody. The government pays everybody the same amount of money, and we all just go to work, and that's what we get. And we rely on the government or we rely on the system for our incomes. To me, that's communism, and that's where the Canadian government was going, and they were marching down the path towards the WEF, the World Economic Forum, with Klaus Schwab before that cunt died. But that yeah, that is true. If digital currency happens, and it's not just that though, as well. That though, fucking Junaid, sorry, fuck that up. It's not just that. You are correct, right? I don't want to be living in a communist state where everything is reliant upon the government. But I also don't want to, for two other reasons, I don't want the government to be able to dictate or take money away from me because, say, I'm doing a podcast and I'm saying stuff against the government that's not popular, and they have to, oh, well, we'll penalize them. On top of that, with digital currency, anything that is digital, computerized, digital, anything like that, at some level, some way, shape, or form, it can be hacked. It can be hacked. I don't care fucking what anybody says. The NSA, the biggest fucking agency in the United States, supposed to be the safest agency for information. It's been hacked. Anything can be hacked. I can be hacked right now. Credit cards, fucking debit cards, bank accounts, all that kind of shit like that. We can all be fucking hacked. So what makes you think with digital currency that there's not people out there that they're just sitting there at their keyboards waiting for it to happen? Cash is king, man. Cash is king. Absolutely. Digital currency is a means of control. Cash equals freedom. Also, you should stock gold and silver, and that's true. And we do. Okay, we do. Still keep cash on hand. I don't keep it in my truck anymore because I retired. But I always have cash on hand. If I have to put my hands on money, I can put my hand. Satellite could fall out of the sky. The fucking bank machines could all turn off. I've still got cash. Gold and silver is also the next. Well, I would almost think that gold and silver should be the first option. Cash should be the second. District managers running 7 stars start at 130. Don't underestimate. $14,000 in revenue every day. Full service car washes acting hit 50K a day. That's good money, man. Ain't no car washer making 100 grand a year. Well, there is if you fucking if you're working fucking 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. What about trans French drivers? Who cares? Who fucking cares? A trans French driver? Think about what you're saying. Who cares? Do you care if somebody's trans? Does that affect your life? When you woke up this morning, did you wake up going, those goddamn trannies? Fuck, my life sucks and it's all the trans fault. I'm not going to work today because there's trans people. Like, you know, who fucking cares? If you're thinking that or saying that, try minding your own business. The world would be a much better place if we as people just took care of our own selves first instead of worrying about what your neighbor's doing. I've been a business owner for 30 years and I know what it's like to agree with you. I know what it's like and I agree with you, man. They're lazy. They think they should get paid big money when they know nothing. It's a sad state. It is. I'm not saying what blah blah. I'm not saying that it's everybody. There are some hardworking kids out there that are fucking out there and they're trying their best they can to kill it, and most of them are fucking failing miserably too. And it's not because of a lack of try or determination. It's just the world about them. Where'd you get that straw man asking for a friend? So I will let you know, but with the politics we don't know. Look what happened to Canadian truckers with the GoFundMe a few years ago. Doug, I was there. Go back on my channel, Doug. Go back on my channel to February of 2022. right? I was in that fucking convoy. My truck was parked on Wellington Street. I was the 17th truck into Ottawa. I was there when all of that went down, right? With the GoFundMe, they froze they took the GoFundMe money. I don't remember, Doug, off the top of my head how much that what that number was, but it was substantial. It wasn't like fucking like $50, right? Um, that's shameful. And Doug, I want to know where that money went. To this day, nobody's ever been accountable to where that money went. Lots of people make over 100 grand to run these stores. I've done it my whole life. If you're running 4 stores or more, you're making over 100,000. Okay. I have worked since 18. Good to see you, by the way, Bobby. I've worked since 18, now 56. Give me a fucking break. I'm 23. How many graduates work at Starbucks? Probably a lot. You'd be amazed how many university students are working at Starbucks, right? You spent fucking $100,000 on an education, and you're working at Starbucks, or you're working at, a clothing store selling fucking t-shirts off a rack or whatever. You know, it's almost embarrassing, right? People go to university and come out with a master's degree, and what they've gone to university for is not applicable in today's life. Like anybody go to fucking um, get anybody's got a master's degree in like in arts or art literature. How is that going to help you today? You just spent $100,000 or more on a fucking 5 years of university. Yes, you've got a master's degree in art literature. Where are you going to go to work? What? You're going to work in some high end fucking what? Museum? You're going to come on, people. The kids these days, when it's time for them to start thinking about what they want to do in life and where they're going to their post-secondary education, start being more practical. Yeah, well, fuck it, get an MBA or a master's degree in something. Yeah, it looks good on paper, but you're never going to be able to apply what you've learned. You know, never. You know, my one of my daughters, she went and to the what was it called? Yeah, college. She went to college, did this, did that, became an accountant. Do you think she walked out of college and walked into a fucking $200,000 a year accounting job? No, didn't happen. Opinion on Charlie Kirk. We've absolutely covered that 100 times today already. After them, exam is difficult like Amazon. I don't know what you're talking. Are you retired? Yes, I am. Thank you. Y- You need to live stream games. I swear you'll make profits. I'm not doing this to make money. I'm not doing this to make money. My channel's not. I don't have a big channel. I'm not here to make money or to collect money. My channel might make two maybe $300 a month. That's all my channel makes, and we give it away anyway, right? The channel, I don't keep any of it. Women don't want to work anymore. Oh, Andrew, I say, I'm going to disagree with that. I'm going to disagree with that. Okay, and I can give you fucking 3 or 4 examples. Okay, first of all, again, every single one of my daughters, I got 6 of them. They're all college and university educated, and they all work like motherfuckers. 3 of them are self-employed, and they all work like fucking motherfuckers. My current girlfriend, okay, works like a motherfucker. My current girlfriend works about 140 hours a week. Now she works a specific shift. She works 7 days, 13 and a half hours a day. She works 7 days in a row, and then she gets 7 days off. So she works a lot, but she works like a fucking motherfucker for the whole time she's at work doing what she does. And I'll even throw into the mix my ex, right? My ex worked, had her own business, was self-employed, successful. So I can tell you right now that I know women that work, and they work hard. And here's another one right here. I'm sitting in my brother's house. My brother works, and his girlfriend. She works, and she's worked all of her life. So, can I exploit your Nature Valley Honey Crunch Nut Crunch? Yeah, knock yourself out. If I could give it to you, I would, because I don't eat them. I have a PhD and I am broke. Case in point, right? I wouldn't get out of bed for under $30 an hour. Well, that's the problem. That's the problem, right? If people, if everybody had that attitude, nothing. First of all, nothing would get done, and the economy would come to a screeching halt. But if everybody had that attitude, where do we go? I won't get out. I wouldn't get out of bed for under $30 an hour. So would you rather sit on your couch unemployed, saying that you can't find a job, or would you take? Sorry, again, phone call came in. Every time a phone call comes in, it throws the stream. It throws the thing off. And now I'm like 7 years behind in fucking comments. Look at this. This is fucking crazy. You guys are on it. You'd rather sit unemployed than work for under $30 an hour. I used to be able to have I'd have free time. Yeah, okay. You're entitled to think that way, Vagabond J. You certainly are. But then it doesn't give you you then lose the right to complain when you can't afford to eat, drinks, go out with some friends, or supply the necessities of life to your family. You don't have the right to sit there and go, God damn it, I'm fucking miserable and I can't find a job. That's not the case. It's a perspective. If you're good with that, you're good with that. Okay. Where are you located right now? Right now I'm in Calgary. I'm in my brother's place in Calgary. I'm house sitting. But I live in Strathmore, just about 45 miles east of here. I work. Elisa, you work. I'm good. I'm glad you work. you know and if you're not working, that means you're not paying tax dollars. You're not paying tax dollars, then you're also, another thing is, like, we enjoy our liberties, some of our liberties and freedoms in Canada. Our healthcare system is better than most. It's not the greatest in the world, but it's not the worst, and a lot of that, a good portion of that, is covered by our taxes. So, Vagabond, if you're going to sit at home and not go to work because anything under $30 an hour is beneath you, but you break your arm or you dislocate your shoulder and you have to go to the hospital and and in Canada, and you have to go to hospital and you have to get medical attention, should you have to pay your own hospital bill because you're not contributing to the medical system? Just a question, just off the top of my head. If you think, yeah, okay, give me a bill, fine. It's not. But if you think that you're now entitled to the health care that our tax dollars all cover us for, so that we don't get a bill at the end of our medical stay, then you're wrong. You're not entitled to that. In my opinion, you should not be entitled to that. And you can sit there and go, oh, okay, well, I worked for 20 years. I worked for 35 years. I've worked actually longer than 35 years. I just trucked for 35 years, but that's just kind of something to think about. Did you have a nickname? Did I have a nickname growing up? If so, and how did you get it? No, I didn't really have one. If you're Canadian, you don't pay taxes, then no, you shouldn't get free healthcare. Dan Lewin, and I agree with that, right? And it's the same as, it's not the same, but it's along the same lines as, if you don't pay if you don't pay taxes, and you're going to sit at home, or you're going to do whatever you're going to do, and you're not entitled to the health care. Don't get me wrong, Dan Lewin, it's not free, right? We are paying for it, but we pay through it to our taxes. That's why Canada is one of the most highly taxed countries in the world for income, right? Because a portion of that, a good portion of that, covers our medical, which then everybody goes, oh, look, Canada gets free healthcare. We do pay for it, but I'd rather do it this way than go to the hospital and get presented with a bill for $25,000. I'd rather do it the way we're doing it. But I absolutely 100% agree. If you're not paying your taxes, then you shouldn't be entitled to it. And it's the same thing with voting, right? If you do not vote in Canada, you then should lose the right to bitch and complain about the government or about the way the country's being run. When even one single vote, that entitles you then to have a thought and to have the right to complain. Why? Because you voted for or against what the government or whatever party's in place. And then the odd people are going to go, yeah, but look, it's one vote. One vote doesn't make a difference. Folks, let me tell you something. Trudeau won the first time on the election. Why did he win? He won because he promised to legalize weed. When he did that, he woke up a fucking age demographic that hadn't voted in probably four generations. And that was the 18 to 25-year olds. Generally, 18 to 25-year-old people don't vote. That's just for some reason they don't vote. Canadians don't start voting until they're like in late 20s, early 30s. That's when they start to take their government and their politics seriously. But when he promised to legalize weed, if he won, all of a sudden every 18-year-old between 18-year-old and 25-year-old voted. My God, the motherfucker won, right? So don't tell me that one vote doesn't count, right? It does fucking count. Because if everybody in Canada, all 46 or whatever million of us in Canada, if everybody of legal voting age voted, I can tell you honestly that our politics would be a little different. The question is why? I won't get out of bed for less than 30 an hour. Become a thing. For example, what can we afford for the amount of income? What should your labor command? Well, again, that takes you back to what are you worth? I just watched a van do a U-turn smack dab in the middle of the Peace Bridge. I guess they decided they didn't want to come to Canada after all. Maybe they're listening to us, right? Is the cost of living cheaper than the US? You know what? I guess for me, it's hard for me to say because, first of all, our dollar is worth a lot less. Like one American dollar is worth about $1.45 to $1.48 Canadian. So if you put that in reverse, a Canadian dollar is only worth about fucking 72 cents American. So when you put that into perspective, I think our wages here are a little bit higher, but the cost of everything we have here is also higher as well. So to put it into perspective, Johnny, I don't know because I don't live in the US, although I've spent a lot of time in the US. I don't know. I've never had to pay taxes. I've never had to buy a house. I've never, every time I'm in the US, I've only had to either pay for meals or maybe the odd hotel room or, repairs on my truck or something like that. I don't have enough information to make an educated comment on that. Karen, I may not work outside the home, but I work as hard being a wife and a nurse to my husband. In the past 5 years, I've done what most women would do. Agreed. Technically, it is free money. It isn't real. The real cost is the human effort. Not bad. Nosy lonely person. Holy fuck, nice name. I'm wearing really cute frozen tooth cotton panties and capri leggings. Thanks for sharing. But that alone doesn't show that it's not free. Nothing is even though many systems masquerade services, you have to pay you have to pay for them. Yeah, at some point or another, you're paying for it. Would you like to have potato? No. Unless you're a young Republican just saying you voted when you turned 18. Unless you're a young Republican just saying you voted when you Virginia Taylor, elaborate on that. I'm back. Oh my God. You've been back 3 times now. How do you know if you have the perfect housemate? My Muslim housemate cooked me dinner because I've been in the hospital all day. He went online and learned how to cook bacon and cooked me some. Damn. There you go. Eyes are opening. There you go. Top commentator or top commenter. Hi man, you know me? Who I'm? Nope, nope. Don't know who you are. I'm from India. All right, man. Well, welcome in from India. Medium wrote an article explaining the amount of money made by the US 2016 and 2024 divided by the population equals out to $78 an hour per person. No shit. I didn't know that. Our dollar is worth less, but we subsidize incomes with tax credits and benefits. Furthermore, families spend less on childcare and medicine and such compared to the rest of North America. That is absolutely true. That is absolutely fucking true. Karen says she's going to be right back. I got you, boot. Tapping with my tip. My lady works her ass off to keep us going since my issues. Well, two for it. You know what? Again, I can point out in my life alone. I can point out probably a dozen women that some of the hardest working people that I fucking know. Really. Do you think the lack of interest from the culture on black violence is what makes it so prevalent? Damn, that's you know what? Um, the lack of interest. So you're saying if we brought the interest level up, I'm not saying we as in me, I'm saying that if say the media or whatever was able to raise the interest of the black culture, of the black on black violence, would it make it less prevalent? You know what, dude? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. That's a good question. I don't know. I love a bacon and sausage and egg sandwich. Mr. Legend, I'm there with you. Bro is tweaking. Uh-oh, look out, I'm tweaking. Dude, are you paid for making advertising? There's no advertisement on my channel. I turn down, I refuse all that have approached the channel about doing any kind of advertising or anything like that. Pecker Slap 13. Nice name. Oh God, I hate my algorithm. You and me both sometimes. At the goddamn bacon, I was thinking you didn't really ask me a question. Okay, you guys are talking. Goddamn bacon, he cooked me bacon, sausage, eggs, and a baked potato. That'll do it. Whoever that don't agree with that perspective. I don't agree with that perspective. Okay. Okay. I don't know. Again, it's one of those where I would be answering out of ignorance. I don't know enough about it, and I don't. Maybe I should. Maybe I should know more about it, and maybe again I don't. But I don't know about. I don't know enough about it. Why is the plant-based diet becoming increasingly popular in Canada, and how did it shaping the country's food industry? Well, I'll tell you this: I'm not a plant-based eater. Right? I'm still a carnivore. I enjoy carnivore, whatever you want to call it. Carnivoreism, whatever. I don't fucking know. I'm just making up words now, right? But how is it affecting Canada's food industry? I don't have a clue. Again, it's one of those areas. You guys are asking some really good questions, and I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that. There's a woman's pubic hair on your coat. That wouldn't surprise me. It ain't my woman's pubic hair. I can tell you right there. Medium rare steak with 2 glasses of whiskey. Oh, Kezia, I can't drink the whiskey, but I'll take the medium rare steak all day long. I invite you to Islam. Thank you very much. I appreciate the offer. What kind of cig you got there? It's just a regular. They're natives. Yeah, nosy, lonely person. I'm making up my own words now. Carnivorism, or fucking whatever you want to call it. Right? I'm making it up. But at the end of the day, I'm still a carnivore. Although I've started eating more vegetables only because my girlfriend eats a shit ton of vegetables. She loves everything, like, everything from, well, she doesn't like carrots, but everything, like all the shit that's gross, broccoli, cauliflower, beets, fucking turnip, like all that shit that I hate. She loved it. So I've been slowly working some of that into my diet. Part of it is good for me. Okay. Some of it, depending on how it's prepared, actually isn't too bad. But okay, I'm back. I had to go yell at the idiots in the next building for tormenting my dog. Fuck, there's always somebody, eh? Oh fuck, it's beer time, dude. It's beer time here now for me. You're 2 hours late. Where the fuck you been? Does this show have have GMO? No, and it lacks good taste and class as well, Salty Badger. Just so you know what you're stepping into when you walk in. Good to see you, by the way, man. You invite you to, you guys can invite each other to whatever religions you want. Stand if you're religious, if you're Islamic and that's your religion, be true to it and stand up for it. If you're Catholic, if you're Christian, if you're whatever your religion, be proud of it. You know, practice it. If that's what gets you through the day and that's what that gets you through your life, that's absolutely fine. I 100% respect every single one of you and whatever religions you have. Be proud of it. Hello from the Netherlands, Robert. Good to see you from the Netherlands. Been riding all day. Got back an hour ago. All right, there you go. All natural and organic. What makes it real is I step in enough of shit all day. Well, exactly. I can't eat all natural and organic. I just can't. Badger, I can't wrap my head around it. Really, I can't. I've done versions of it, like not lately, like going back when all of that started and oh fuck, it's too hard. It's too hard. It's too hard. And I'll be honest with you, Badger, a lot of that has to do with discipline, right? Because you can eat meat and you can eat poultry and you can eat and you can be all natural and organic with all of that as well. But eventually I come to a point where I'm going to come across something that's just too goddamn delicious that I have to stick it in my face hole and eat it, regardless of the chemicals and the crap that are in it. Maybe Badger, you've got that discipline. I don't have it. I don't have it. And if it means that I die 15 minutes before you do, okay. Okay. We'll jump on before we do, we'll jump on the before we die, we'll jump on the bikes and go for a ride and agree to disagree. Yukon Bub, good to see you, man. What's going on? Is it too late to find a real career at 26, or what could I do to provide better life for my son? It's never too late. It's never too late to better yourself. I'm 55 years old, and yes, I'm retired, but I still, on a daily basis, I try to do something at least once a day to better myself, learn, learn something new, help somebody else. You know, you know, I won't give you a handout. I won't give you a free pass, but I'll give instead of a handout, I'll give you a hand up. I'll help you, but I won't do it for you. And it's never too late at any age. I'm still doing it. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to be the best person I can. I'm not always successful. I fail some of the time, and sometimes I'm a miserable prick. What do? You learn from your lesson. You carry. You adapt. You overcome. You improvise. You carry on. They blame us for drinking the Kool-Aid and then turn around and dye their hair with Kool-Aid to let that sink in. It's absolutely true. I don't know how many times I've had somebody say to me, "Fuck, are you actually you drinking that Kool-Aid?" Yeah, but I ain't dyeing my fucking hair with it. Been a hot minute busy these 2 months, last 2 months. I'm glad you're busy, brother. I'm glad you're busy, and I'm glad I haven't been. I've just been kind of kicking back and relaxing and taking care of some medical things, nothing serious. Little couple little things on the side going on. But I'm no longer trucking. Retired from trucking. But you're on here wanting people to send you money. No, absolutely not. Renee Baker, nowhere, anywhere have you ever heard me ask anybody on my channel ever. Do not send me money. I don't ask for money, and I don't ask for you to subscribe. Never once. I've been live now for almost 3 hours. Never once have I asked anybody here for money today, or I've never asked you to subscribe. I do ask you to maybe hit the like button, but I don't ask you to subscribe. If you want to subscribe, you like what's going on, you want to come back and hang out again, hit the subscribe button and come on back and hang out. And I'll appreciate that. And thank you for, taking time out of your busy day to sit here and hang out with us. But I don't ask you to. Substance gathering. Is that what you're doing? Substance gathering? That's not bad. I just pulled that one out of my ass there. Goddamn bacon. That was one of those I just pulled out of my ass. Every once in a while, I come up with a good one. That was my one for today. Now I used it up. Do you drive a truck? No, not anymore. I retired. You are a nice guy. Would love to have you as a neighbor. Beers on the porch. Well, you know what, Christian? I'll tell you what. If you were my neighbor, I would be more than happy to sit out on the porch with you, watch the sunset, have a nice cigar. You can drink the beer. You can drink the beer, but I won't drink the beer. I'm a recovered drug addict and alcoholic, so you don't want me drinking beer or anything else for that matter. I've been with Brian's channel, and I can say in honesty, he's never asked anyone for money. What you see with him is what you get. Thank you, Karen. The only time that I have ever asked for money is when we do our annual fundraiser for the charity. And then I beg like a fucking poor kid on the street, right? For money. But it's not coming to me, it's going to the charity. So, and it's not my charity. I have nothing to do with the charity. I think Yukon might have been making a joke about the vegans. Oh, probably. Can you drift in a truck? You can, but you don't want to. I've drifted in a truck, and it wasn't by choice. It was a bad decision on a corner and going a little too fast on some ice. So yeah, you can, but you probably don't want to. Don't you wish Canadians had guns so they could keep their ostriches? So they can keep their ostriches. Meme. That's pretty funny. And I've been very open about this. There is one thing I very much agree with, and that would be the ability to, or the right to carry a firearm, a weapon. If I was allowed in Canada to go out and take the appropriate courses and then get the appropriate permits, would I have an open carry permit and would I carry? I would. That's just me personally. You can agree with it or don't agree with it. We're not going to get into the great gun debate. That's just me. Okay, that's just me. I still don't understand why insulting blue-haired liberals for dyeing their hair is actually a negative insult. Okay, their hair is blue, so billionaires should destroy your standard of living instead. Well, it's hard when you're dealing with that level of echelon with the billionaires because they're free to do almost anything they want. They're untouchable. People are saying your ass is like a wizard's sleeve. Why? I've never heard that one. I'm an alcoholic too, brother. Any tips on how to change it? Yeah, hit your bottom. If you're still an active alcoholic or a practicing alcoholic, um, just remember when you use the word practicing, right? And people in recovery say, "Oh, this guy's an alcoholic. He's still out there practicing." The problem is, one day you're going to get it right, right? You won't be practicing anymore. You'll get it right, and chances are it's killed you. So, first of all, admit that you need help. Admit that you've got a problem. Admit that you maybe can't do it by yourself, and maybe you need some help, and then go from there. All the money is sent directly to the charities. Yeah, exactly. Parked up now, Tyke. Have you been listening the whole time? Hopefully, you've been listening the whole time. I'm sure you're going to pipe in here with some good fucking info. I'm going to give you guys about another 30 minutes. I've got about half a cup of coffee, a couple of smokes left. I might light that to try to light that cigar back up again, but I'll give you guys about another 30 minutes. They grew up in a society that trains people to insult things that are different, or not just insult them, but be afraid of it. And when they're afraid of it, they start to insult. And by insulting, they're lashing out. So if someone's making fun of someone, it's because they are scared of being made fun of first. Very well said. Good point. Ain't funny. You slide around in the snow with cars. It's kind of fun in a truck, not so much. It's not fun at all, dude. When you're looking in your go to look in your passenger mirror, but you're looking out the window and you can see the ass end of your trailer, your 53-foot trailer, dude. That's taking it up to the asshole pucker factor of about 50. I would like to have what's that? You would like to have what? Ooh, comment jump. I would like to have a homie with me in a boat and a sunset vibing with fishnet. I don't know what you're asking there. Can I speak for 5 minutes with you? You're free to speak in here for as long as you want, man. There, but okay. The two Englishmen are going to start talking to each other. Why is it that the Canadian has two moderators in his channel and both of them are from England? How did that work out? God damn. I ran bobtail once in the snow and drifted the truck coming down Sutton Bank. Oh, we've all done that. We've all done that. We've all had the ass end break loose on us in the snow and when you're bobtailing. It's not so much fun when you're doing it with a trailer on. I spelt this wrong in bacon. I'm kind of you guys are talking back and forth, so I'm not really I'm quickly scanning your comments. Do me a favor, you guys are free to talk about anything you want. Just don't be slinging shots at each other. I'm not saying that you are, but if you guys are gonna get if this is gonna get heated and you guys are gonna go down that road, please don't. Do I think India should perish? Fuck no. What a silly thing to say. What a silly thing to say. All KFCs are shut down in Denmark because of bankruptcy. I wasn't aware of that. I don't eat KFC. I'm just not a fan of it. I don't like it. A good point I'd like to build on. Most aggressions, such as anger, hate, even discontentment, are secondary emotions. They most always stem from another, usually hurt, fear, or even powerlessness. I can agree with that. Oh, somebody's telling me to shut up. Okay, guys, I better shut up. Smell your hat. Look at you go. They keep calling me son, so they seem angry about what I'm saying. If somebody is angry about what you're saying, that's on them. It's not on you. If you're angry, anybody in this chat is angry or pissed off over anything that I'm saying, and you're angry at me, well, that's look within yourself. What is it within yourself that's making you angry? What, you just don't agree with me? That's fine. That shouldn't be enough to piss you off. If I'm making racial slurs and that makes you angry, well, no, which I'm not, but if I was making racial slurs and that's making you angry, again, your anger is your emotion. You are the only one that has control over that. I have no control over how you feel. None. Fuck KFC. Mary Brown's chicken is where it's at. Yeah. Mary Brown around here, Mary Brown's, in my opinion, is the best. We've got KFC, we got Popeyes, we got Mary Brown. Mary Brown out of the three is best. I see talks of other Canadians willing to go independent and join the states. What are your thoughts? Yukon, I'll be honest with you, because I live in Alberta and they're the first and foremost front runner. If a province is going to separate from Canada and become a separatist, um, it doesn't mean they're going to be their own country. It just means they're going to separate. And they're going to be separatists from Canada. If it was to happen, first of all, do I want it to happen, Yukon? No. I would like my country to stay intact. I'm Canadian. I was born here. I was raised here. I've been to every province. I love my country. Do I want to see my country fracture? No, I don't. But in the event that Alberta said, you know what, it had the amount of people, it had the vote, it had the support, it had everything in place, and they decided we are going to separate. Would I cry over it? No. Would I be a little disappointed? Yeah. But would I be like, would it affect my life? And would I be like, uh, you know, upset and distraught? No, I wouldn't. Oh, I will say this though. if Alberta was to separate, you may want to be here before it does, because if it does, good luck getting in afterwards. And would it ever join the United States? No, no. The United States would love to have Alberta just for our resources. Fuck the people. There's only 4.5 million people in Alberta. The whole province of Alberta. There's only 4.5 million people. In the city of Toronto has more people than the fucking whole province of Alberta. But we have the most resources in Canada, right? Oil, gas, lumber, fucking blah 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 blah. I like the big crunch sandwich from KFC. Oh, can't do it. Brian, I reckon it's time for a tyke rant. Any minute now, it wouldn't surprise me. Hi from Airdrie, Alberta. Well, Kurt, you're not just up. You're basically just up the road. I'm in Calgary. Again, I don't live here. This is my brother's place. I'm house sitting for him, but I live in Strathmore. So you're still, Airdrie is what, 25 minutes north, if that, if of where I'm at right now, and you're about an hour and 20 minutes. Not even about an hour and 10 minutes from my place in Strathmore. I'll separate. Give us the American dollar at par. That would be really tempting, wouldn't it? American money and pew pew laws. I welcome that. Yeah, yeah. No, I think I'll take a leaf out of your brother PA's try and go grab a pack of Welch's gummies. There you go. Yeah, they're there too. You want them? Canada is less than 70 years old as an independent nation. How did you guys turn it into a Venezuela so quickly? That's fucking awesome. You know what? That is absolutely awesome. I'm going to tell you something. Big Tito, that is a great comment. That is a great comment. And a lot of people, a lot of Canadians are going to sit here and go, well, the government did it. The government took away our rights, and they took away this, and they took away this freedom and this liberty, and they took away and that's it. And our country turned into a fucking shit show. And that would be a lie. Well, it would be a partial truth, but a very small partial truth. I'm going to tell you something. Did the Canadian government do a lot of this? Yes. But shame on us as a citizens that we allowed it. Our liberties and our freedoms and a lot of the stuff that we've fucking lost or we're in the midst of losing, it was because it was taken away in such small increments that nobody really noticed. Right? Nobody really noticed. If they'd have walked in and they said, okay, we're taking away this, and it's a big liberty, we'd all throw our arms up and there'd be fucking hell to pay. Absolutely not. There'd be fucking protests, speeches, fucking all down the road. But when they take away your liberties and freedoms 1 millimeter or 1/4 inch at a time, the vast general population doesn't even notice it's happened until it's too late. And then they'll turn around and go, then the population turns around and goes, well, I have the right to this. And they'll go, well, no, you don't. You lost that last year with this Bill C3 121. And then you go look up Bill. I haven't made that number up, by the way. Bill C321. But then you'll go look up Bill C321. You go, well, when the fuck did that happen? Well, it happened last year. Well, how come I didn't know about it? Because they took away this liberty, this liberty, this liberty, this freedom, this, all these little tiny ones that now make up that bill. And that's how they went about it in Canada, and they're still doing it. But that's a great comment, Big Tito. I import a lot of wood and lumber from Canada. A lot of countries do. Yukon, we do. They do. We do. We get bent. And it's funny that the liberals are actually fucking killing them, shooting themselves in the foot by bending us over, right? Especially with our oil and gas. Are you kidding me? They're killing themselves because they could have so much more of it, do much more with it, and they don't. They squander their opportunities. They make poor decisions. They make shady business deals with other countries. I'm telling you, Canada voting left blows my mind. Glenn, I can't disagree with you. I absolutely do agree with you. Uh, Big Tito, pretty sure Canadian is older than a century. Empress of Ireland Ghost might have something to say about this. You could be right. Lieutenant Nightwolf. Nice name, man. Like that. Good handle. How are you? I'm doing okay, man. Name ways schools can support students stick on their gender identities. How about mind their own fucking business? There's no place in schools for politics or religion. Okay. Missed it. There's no place for it. And gender identities and whatnot like that, that falls into that. Okay. The teachers are there to teach you. They're there to teach you reading, writing, arithmetic, geography, history, da 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 da. They are not there to identify you as a gender or help you identify yourself. That is falls upon the role of the parents. End of discussion. Yeah, Canada is hilarious. I moved from Toronto, Ontario to Alberta, Canada. Much better. Well, Mile, I moved from Ontario to Alberta as well. My brother's been out here for fucking almost 30 years. I've been out here since last February. Yeah, February. So and it's a huge difference in life. It is an absolutely huge difference in life. The pace of life out here is much slower. People stop to smell the roses. I hate to use that terminology, but it's true. People are not you and the example I give is Toronto's like an anthill. You walk up to a big anthill and you kick the top off it, ants come pouring out and they go in a million directions at a million miles an hour. And that's what Toronto's like. And for the most part, that's what Southern Ontario is like. You come out here and you kick over the anthill, you get one come out, goes this way, another one comes out, goes that way. Two more come out, and they'll fucking stop and have a chat and talk to each other. That's just the way Albertans are. They're friendlier, slower paced life. I think it's just my opinion. That people in Alberta, they appreciate their lives a little more. They're not so quick to fuck someone over because that's not the what's in it for me attitude out here. There is some of it here, but it's not a way of life like it would be in Ontario. I'm trucking right now. We'll keep the fucking wheels on the ground and roof under the bridges, and don't take nothing home to mama the ditches. You'd be surprised how subtle the wielder of the gun in the room can be, right until they no longer need to be, such as one danger of government. Exactly, and it's like I said, and I'm using the Americans in this example. Okay, the amendments were written not to protect the government. The fucking amendments were written to protect the population. Those founding fathers that wrote those weren't doing it to protect themselves. They were doing it to protect. And here's another thing that and Americans don't. I don't know if they don't realize it or if they don't know it. An amendment is just that. It's an amendment. It can be changed. God forbid a crooked government realizes that and starts trying to change the fucking amendments. But amendments are just that. They can be changed. They can be altered. They can, depending on, I guess, I don't know what it would take to do that. But if you look up the word amendment, if you look it up, it can be changed. It's an amend. An amendment is something that you're amending. You're changing something from one to another. You're amending it. That's what your amendments are. No one wants our oil, bro. You'd be amazed, Desert Eagle, who wants our oil. King Charles owns Canada. Well, Glenn, I don't think so. Although there's a lot of Brits that'd be happy to fucking tell you. Only if it's Christianity. Well, religion is a slippery slope. Pretty sure your username, namesake needs oil, both kinds. Desert Eagle, exactly. Tyke, okay, you guys are talking. I love our convo. I always like Canadians as a neighbor. Well, you know what? It's nice to have you up there taking care of our northern interests there, Yukon. I know it's an American, like a Canadian territory, Yukon territory. Yeah. Um, where are you? Actually, you're from Alaska, aren't you? Yukon Bub Adventures. I know I've asked you that before. Sorry, I'm having a fucking brain fart here. I've done a lot of talking today. My brain is tired. My mouth is tired. I got pudding going on up here right now. If you guys ask me anything too goddamn difficult now, I don't know what I'm going to say. I would take Christianity bullshit over commie liberal bullshit. Who says you have to take either? I don't accept either. Yeah, Alberta is cheap living where I live, a big income. No, that's true. I've got friends out here, and that I've got friends that have sons, and well, two fours. His boys up in the patch, making really good money, and he's the Nova Scotia boys. So yeah, there is the opportunity in Alberta to make a really good living if you're willing to work hard for it. My favorite people are from the Yukon. There you go. 100%, brother. Thank you for that. Only one that may be worse is one after the U.S. Civil War, where a merchant shops with almost 1,000 Union POWs were being transported back to North ended up exploding. Wasn't that like the largest explosion of something like that? It actually measured. They felt it like 100 miles away or something like that. How's Northern India? Come on now, be nice. Becky Brown says hi. What's going on? ICE agent can't wear a mask in California now, apparently. Well, here's my comment, Adam. What's the need to wear a mask? Are you not you? I'm just saying, are they afraid of COVID or? Let's face it, man. Like, let's face it. We're not going to walk down the COVID fucking conversation. We're not doing that because I'm just about out of cigarettes and coffee. But I've probably had COVID 3 times in my life. Twice probably didn't even know it. And one of them I knew I had it. And the other 2 times I thought maybe I just had a cold. I was a little achy. I wasn't feeling. I kept on working, right? Is the COVID thing what they turned and said it was? No. Did it kill all those people? No. It got labeled on their deaths as COVID related. No. Come on, man. That's all been proven. It was all about money and big pharma. That's why the amendment of a process requires ratification by enough states, and that it is supposed to be a limitation on the government, his ability to alter the Constitution exactly. But at the end of the day, it is to protect the people, right, from a tyrannical government. How do I feel about separating from monarchy? I will be 100% honest. I don't give a flying fuck about the monarchy. I could care less about the monarchy. I don't give a damn about what single one of the royals. I don't give a shit about the royal family, the royal whatever. I don't care. I could care less about the royals. Seemed like a decent guy though. Thought you were a fraud. Cheers. Well, Desert Eagle, thanks. Appreciate that. Kurt, I'm British and I want the monarchy out. Queen Victoria gave up ownership of the provinces of Canada in the late 1800s. I like that you reply to each and every one. You're a good person, man. I'm trying, but then I get way behind in the comments. Alaskan Far West line, Yukon Delta South mouth. Okay, so I was right. You're in Alaska. It kind of throws us off when we see Yukon because Yukon is Canadian. I'm too lazy to look, but isn't there a constitution right here where people can vote, override the law and the amendment? What in Canada? Yeah, there is a. We have a constitution, or we have what do we I call it the black book of bullshit is what I call it, because the government doesn't adhere to it or abide by it. They just trample all over it anytime they want to. Trudeau did it fucking back in 2022, and he did it all through 2022, right up to 2024. Not gonna lie, this is the most I've bothered arguing in years. I rarely do so anymore these days. Goes to show how much y'all actually got me engaged in a way I feel it's worth my time. Well, man, appreciate you being here. I really do. Thanks for popping in. Like I said, I used to follow you years ago, and I used to pop in on you when you were doing your lives and shit like that. And then I don't know what happened. I'd have to go back I got a feeling that I've tweaked my channel a few times. I'm probably still following you. My notifications may just be turned off. I will rectify that. The flying spaghetti monster is the one and only true God. Pasta is key. I can go for that. Built like a trucker. I am. If you're insulting me, I take it as a compliment. Thank you. You can't perceive with your mind. You must perceive with your eyes. You can't perceive with your mind. You must perceive with your eyes. Yeah, but your eyes can deceive you, and it's up to your mind to determine what you're seeing is real. I'm just throwing that back out. Yeah, I like what you said, and it's relevant. I'm just throwing that kind of back out at you, right? Your eyes can deceive you. Okay, your eyes can be fooled. So can your mind. But then, if your eyes have been deceived, it's up to your mind to try to figure out the truth. This is what 60 and divorced looks like. No, I'm not 60. Are you fucking crazy? I'm 28, man. This is what 55 and twice divorced looked like. And I have no qualms with that. I don't know why, but I feel like you're the type of guy that can endlessly yap about two things only: politics and conspiracy theories. Bring up something else. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? And I'll talk about anything you want. If I know something about it, I'll talk about it. If I don't know anything about it, I'll tell you I don't know anything about that. What do you what do you think about William and Kate? And I believe is oh, fuck. I don't give a shit. It's as simple as that. I don't give a shit. I don't care. They're no bearing on my life. Watching the stream from Nunavut. You are up there. Nunavut. I've never been there. I've been to all of the provinces, but I haven't been to the territories. So Nunavut, that's a new one for me, man. I've never been there. Thanks for coming in. I don't know, maybe wherever you live in Nunavut, maybe it's such a small town, you got nothing better to do but look at me. And if that be the case, man, I'm sorry. I'm at the very beginning of Yukon, best river in the world. Beginning of Yukon, best river in the world. Um, I'll take your word for it. I will eventually get up there. I do want to see Alaska, and I would like to see certain other. I'd like to go to Yukon. I will eventually get up there and experience that beauty. Um, I don't know when. Just keep in mind, if you're worried about Wheel Burner falling behind in the chat, he's talking. He's taking the time to answer all. Not most folks who do these streams do that, and I and others try to. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially like I don't have big numbers in here today. There's what's showing. I got 59 in here today, and 59 people all going like this. It's like it would be like me being in a room with 59 people and having a conversation with everybody at the same time. It's impossible to do. Everyone's so sensitive, like a high school girl. It's depressing. Where are the real men? Holla at you, girl. Toot toot. Test. You know what? I can't disagree with you. Uh, I'm thinking that there's a generation there that's very sensitive and they're all up in their feelings and when we were kids, if something had to be settled, we went out back behind the barn, we threw hands, and the first one to fall down lost. Then you pick the guy up and you dust him off and you go, okay, we good? We're good. And that's how we settled shit back then. Nowadays, not so much. They labeled the flu as COVID, as they had to lock everyone down to stop inflation as they needed to print more money because of the repo crisis. Well, Robert, they did that in Canada and they mastered it. Oh, here's 2 4 slapping down some fucking reality. There we go. The truth on anything cannot be told. It has to be realized. Very true. You can tell the truth, but it's got to be realized. I like that. I'm in Canada, but my family is originally from Heacham, Suffolk, which is why I talk to you. Okay. Anyway, guys, you know what? Wow, I love watching hunting reels from your people. Cool. I've never been. I'd like to go. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my time is up for the day. I'd love to hang out with you a little longer, but you know what? First of all, I'm sitting here doing the pee pee dance. I got to go have a whiz. I've been sitting here for fucking almost 4 hours drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes. So I got to have a piss. And on top of that, the brain is tired, the mouth is sure, mouth is tired, the brain is shot. Um, Anybody that says that I don't know anything, I don't talk about anything other than politics or religion or something like that, I tell you what, I'll be live again tomorrow morning. Bring it. Bring it. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about. You give me the topic. You bring the subject. You bring the goddamn bacon. Okay, bring it out, and we'll talk about it. If I have something to say about it, I'll talk to you about it. If I got nothing to say about it, if I don't know anything about it, I'll tell you I don't know about it. Right? See you again, Yukon. Looking forward to seeing you again, man. Thanks for your time, Burner. Glad to catch up with you again. Yeah, Bacon. As soon as I'm done here, I'll go through it and I'll check out why I'm not seeing you around. Stay authentically, organically you. I'll do the best I can, with the exception of pouring caffeine and nicotine into me. That's about as unauthentically organic as I can be. Anyway, you guys, you know what? Thanks for hanging out. Good topics today. Good conversation. I don't agree with everything that you guys say, and you guys don't agree with everything I say. We can agree to disagree, but we're still friends. We can all hang out. We can shoot the shit. It doesn't matter whether you're blue or whether you're red or if you're liberal or if you're conservative. It makes no goddamn fucking difference. You're welcome in here. Come on in, sit down, relax, drink your coffee, drink your beer, have your shot, smoke your joint. I don't care. I don't care. Bring it on. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man.